I just wake up in the morning and I yell a lot, even though it's way too early. It's fun though. Wake up, wake up, wake up! Wake up, everybody, wake up. He's up, she's up, we up, you up, I'm up. Wake up, get up, it's time to get up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, wake up! That's right. I got so excited, I cut myself shaving because I'm the only one who can draw blood from me. Anyway, let's go. What is up? What is up? I am John Greaves III. I'm the co-founder of Garage Gym Life. Welcome back to another episode of Up Way Too Early with Garage Gym Life. We are basically setting a standard right here, 5:58 a.m. I started early, so I give y'all an on-ramp, all right? So I can explain some rules to you. We're setting the standard for volume. This is it right here. We ain't going in below it. We might go above it frequently. So just go ahead, brace yourself. If you're driving around, you're about to put the kids in the car, you might want to this is not the time to turn the bass up or in the stereo up. I promise you, I'm going to be louder than kids, okay? Shout out to all kids who watch me. Shout out to my guy Kevin's kids in Japan, mostly because they said these immortal words. Let's see if we can. Oh, I can't. I deleted it. No, they said the immortal words. Uncle John is funny. And I have become a fan ever since then. Shout out to Jared Martin and his kids because they sing the Recliner Raid song with me. All right. And if you got kids who watch the show who I do not know about, shout out to them too. All right. Tell them John love the kids. John love the kids, but in a non-creepy way. Anyway, so if you have never watched this show before and you're slowly reaching towards the button to click off, don't do that. Instead, I need you to hit like and subscribe because this is a show where we actually, believe it or not, in addition to random rambling and me checking where I cut myself shaving, we talk about content from a home gym perspective. So that means we talk to the people who make the equipment that makes the home gym lifestyle possible. We talk to athletes, coaches, content creators in the home gym space, and we talk to you guys and get feedback from you guys live in the live chat and in comments from the replay gang so that we all learn from each other. This show is, in my opinion, is definitely a pioneer in the field of live YouTube fitness content, but it is, in my opinion, your best Friday morning wake-up call. And if I have my way, I do this every single day of the week so I can get your day started off the right way. Help me out. Help me get that goal. Hit like, hit subscribe. We're very, very close to 60,000 subscribers, and you can help get us there. If you have already subscribed, do me a favor and do this other thing for me. All right. Hey, I don't want you to just watch this video. I need you to like, subscribe, and if you're already a subscriber, I want you to join our channel for 99 cents a month so you can help us improve YouTube for the home gym community. Okay, back to the video. Maybe you're the sort of superstar who has already liked to subscribe. You've already joined the channel membership. You're like, well, I'm pretty much done. No, you're not. I need you to share this video with somebody else who might enjoy hanging out with us today. Or our future days. Okay, so that's another way to help us grow. All right, so let's go ahead and let's talk about what's on the menu for today. Besides my random rambling, in the first hour, we're going to have news and other things. That's where I tell you what's going on, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on. That's right, I tell you what's going on that matters to the home gym community. 6:45, we will have a brand new Recliner of Rage. That's right. I will tell you why I'm mad this week. I do not go looking for these topics. They just come, they happen, and I react, I crash out, and then I move on. I put it in the rearview mirror and I put it behind me because it's like a therapy session. In the second hour, which is 7 a.m., we got my guy, Anthony Gutierrez from the Bar Gym Reviews. Anthony has already checked in. He's done his sound checks and everything. I can see him. He is poised and ready to go to jump into the show when it is time for him to get on here. He's also in the live chat, so he's going to be joining us. Then in the third hour, which will be 8 a.m. Eastern time, 6 a.m. Mountain time. This is going to drive me nuts. Let's see how long it takes for me to stop bleeding. Anyway, third hour, 8 a.m. Eastern time, 6 a.m. Mountain time. Mark Tovar from Flex Marks the Spot will be joining us. He's going to be talking about his channel, Gonna be talking about that thing with Iron Bull Strength, and he's also gonna be talking about some cool the different projects that he's got coming up. So we'll see what's been going on with him. He's got to be doing more than just putting oversized turf tires on Concept 2 rowers. So we're going to find out what Mark has been up to. All right, now that you know what's going on, once again, please do me a favor. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and let's go see who is here in the live chat. Say what's up to everybody. What's up, everybody? So first in the building, of course, my guy Carlos says, rise and grind, everybody. Hope you're feeling better, John. Well, hey, look, my man, I appreciate the well wishes, and I appreciate the encouragement while I was sick. I'll tell you guys about that in a second, but Carlos was one of the people who knew I was sick. Well, who knew what was making me sick, all right? And I appreciate him reaching out, and we texted back and forth a little bit. So thanks, man. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. All right, I'm feeling young, looking fresh, feeling handsome. All right, let's see here. I did also for those who were not signed in already earlier, I put an unboxing video that I uploaded to the members only section of the channel. So if you become a channel member, and the link to do that is in the video description. It's only 99 cents a month. Okay, it's literally it's less than $1 a month, and that gives you access to all of our content. My guy T-Dog19 is a channel member, and he actually sent me a message a few weeks ago, said he discovered a video in the members only section about how to grow your YouTube channel that's been up in there forever. He had no idea it was in there. He said, man, that video by itself was worth the money that he's spending. It's like $12 a year. All right, so you guys go ahead, become a member of the channel, and you'll be able to check out the unboxing videos. The unboxing videos, I will cost you, the unboxing videos that we upload to the channel for members only, these are raw, unedited videos. So we don't put any filters, nothing. You guys get to see not only how long it really takes to assemble something, but you also get to see any mistakes we make, or what. It's just me and Naomi put stuff together. We've got 3 videos in there so far, and we will be adding to them as we go along. Anyway, there you go. And let's see. What's up, BJ Nelson? He said, this is Iron Clinic Gym. He said, let's go. Happy Friday, y'all. Hey, it's you may not know this, BJ, but Friday is my day. Everybody's got a holiday. Some got Christmas and New Year, but Friday is my day. I got 52 a year. Friday's my day to play, and I get it started off my way with hanging out with y'all. What's up, my man? Thank you for being here. Once again, Trevor said, wake up. What's up? Let's see here. The Barb Gym Reviews. I told y'all he was in here in the chat. He said, let's get it. Hey, I'm giving you some energy. So when you go to those, coach football, you show up with energy. I'm going to make them kids, they're going to have a miserable day. They'll be like, hey, I don't know what coach did today, but he needs to never do it again. He got us working too hard. Carlos said, the mic sounds nice. Check 1. The mic sounds nice. Check 2. Are you ready? That's right. You dang right I'm ready. I was born ready. I sped up as I got more experience. Carlos said I should wear my Wu shirt today also. Yeah, this is from the Wu-Tang. I think it was like their 50th, maybe 25th anniversary tour, and it went through DC. And so, of course, that's the site of the Washington Commanders, the greatest NFL team in history. And there you go, rocking this right here. My guy Sumo 13. I was turned on to that by my guy Toothpick from First String Podcast. All right, no more free commercials. Tattoo said, hey, what's up, Matt? The British have landed. The British ain't coming. The British are here. What's up, Matt? What's up, my man? Hope you're not wrestling deer. Eric Eccles said, good morning, gents. What's up, man? Hey, look at this. Hey, by the way, guys, BJ, thank you. I don't do a very good job of this, but I need to do better. But we do accept super chats, and if I see a super chat, I will immediately super chat get priority, simply because you're willing to take your time and spend money to support the channel. BJ with the $10 super chat, I greatly appreciate you, BJ. He says, shout out to John for putting in the work week in and week out to make this happen. Dude, this is not only a labor of love, it is a statement of defiance, because so many people, some of them well-intentioned, told me when I first decided to do a live show and to not skip a single episode, they told me, number one, it wouldn't work. Number two, I was crazy for even trying. And as you guys saw last week, I was sick and I still was here because I committed to you guys. I will be here. I will be here. And I appreciate you for being here with me. And also thank you for the super chat because y'all make this thing work. All right. Now let's see. Eric Echo says, good morning, gents. What's up? What's up, Eric? Eric's probably at work. Because Eric is working when the bars close. He doesn't work late. He works so early it's late for everybody else. Carlos just got 10,000 steps in. BJ said this is the best day of the week that ends in a Y. Man. Hey, Carlos, you better stand by. There's gonna be more singing. Hey, what's up, BJ? Thank you. He not only did the super chat, he also became a new member of the tribe. What's up, BJ? So you're gonna get a badge next to your name. You see it on YouTube. You see the new channel badge on YouTube, and you also get access to channel special emojis that only the channel members have, and you'll be able to put them in your comments and stuff. And so I really appreciate you, man. Like I said, it's just $12 a year, but it seriously means a lot to me. All right. So thank you so much. And spread the word. Tell people what we do here. Tell them what you saw here. All right. What's up? The Statty Daddy has arrived. What's up, Kurt? What's up, man? What's up? Let's see. Oh, yeah. You definitely don't need to watch this. Watch this after you leave the VA, okay? You go to the VA. You can't be doing good when you go to the VA because then they'll figure, oh, you don't need this money. You don't need all that stuff. So, yeah, you probably want to cut out probably about the next 5 minutes, all right? Because the motivation's high. Man, dude, that is all I do. This is a little bit of a tangent, but I'm going to tell you this part of the show is about shtick anyway and random tangents. But I was thinking as I was shaving, it's probably how I cut myself. I was thinking about as I was shaving about how many different things that I have done, some of which I abandoned because I was like, I let people talk me into believing that it wouldn't work. For example, you may not realize this because other people do it now, but we were the first ones to do home gym tours of just regular people. So before that, if you saw a home gym tour, it would be like, somebody famous, right? So Men's Health had a thing where they call it gym in your fridge, and they would come to your house. They would go to your house and you say, hey, show us what's in your refrigerator. Now show us your gym, right? So they went to like Timbaland, the music producer. They went to what's the guy name? Lenny Kravitz, a bunch of different people, right? My man Alan Richardson from Jack Reacher. They did a lot, right? But I was and you don't believe me, look back in, I want to say it was 2017. I did a video tour of my brother's, because he was the only one I could get to agree to do it, of his backyard home gym in Dayton, Tennessee. And when I was doing it, I literally had to explain to people what a home gym tour was. That shows you how long ago it happened. All right. That's how long ago I've been doing it, since you had to explain what a home gym tour was. Okay. And people were like, nobody wants to, they're like, the people whose houses I was going to are like, nobody's going to want to look at my gym. Nobody, who would want to look at Jimmy? They said, who would want to look at gym equipment? Who would want to look at a video of just gym equipment? I'm like, yeah, okay. Fast forward to now, and people don't even realize that I started that. And this is just, I remember we said we want to do a magazine, and we wanted to do it by home gym owners and for home gym owners, instead of what used to happen, which was you'd have like maybe a small blurb every now and then in a mainstream fitness magazine. We successfully did it for 2 years. The era of magazines kind of passed us by a little bit. I didn't abandon it. I just put it to the side. I still own the IP and everything else, and we may bring it back in a different form or whatever, but that's yet another thing that we did. And now we have a live talk show about home gym culture. And we were the first, but we're certainly not the only ones now. I'm seeing other people doing it, and there you go. So yeah, it's not about just proving them wrong. It's about not believing that they're right, so that we can make things better for everybody, for our community. So there you go. Matt said, I'm hiking fields today. I just signed up for English Strongest Natural for 2026, and prep started yesterday. Back now, fully focused. I saw you doing some pressing, man. I didn't know if you were prepping for a competition or not. So yeah, man, it looked good. Donnie, what's up, Donnie? Addicts Clubs and Mason says, good morning. What's up? Trevor said this place is the opposite of Fight Club. You tell everyone about it. Yes, do that. Tell everybody at the VA too. All right, tell everybody at the VA. Tell them it's therapeutic. BJ said for just $1 a month, you too can help feed a home gym content creator who's living off of affiliate sales. Dude, if I was trying to live off affiliate sales, we'd get rid of the house and just get us. We take like those boxes that all the products come in. We would just live in those. Yeah, we would just do that. And Matt, in fact, so there you go. Matt said I need to do an updated tour of my gym. A lot's changed in 5 years. That Matt was one of the early gym tours that we did. I want to say that I was the first American-based channel to have home gym tours from overseas as well. And I think either Matt or my guy Tommy at Tomo119 on Instagram were the first ones from the UK that made us be the first ones to have international home gyms. So that was a good times, man. I love it. Dude, I could build a billion clubhouses with all the boxes. Just the boxes I have downstairs right now. All right, it's crazy. But you know the lifestyle. All right, so we've said what's up to everybody. We're going to keep the show rolling. It is now 6:14. So it is actually, we're right on time because I started a little early. So we're right on time. It's time to dive head first into news and other things. Let's go. Okay, first news item. We're going to tell you what happened last week. I told you guys that I had a fever on Thursday. So Friday, I was telling you guys I had a fever and I couldn't sleep. In fact, and it really, I mean, I've already rewatched the episode. I didn't realize that my mic, so I use a center cam. Shout out to center cam, not sponsored, but send me money if you want. Same address is the same. But I use a center cam and the center cam has a microphone. Okay. And so it is, for some reason, StreamYard often thinks that center cam should be the primary mic. So every episode, I have to make sure that I'm not using the center cam microphone because it doesn't have the same sound quality. So, and instead that I'm using my Audio Technica mic. So if you guys are listening, by the way, if you guys are ever listening to the show and you hear the sound crazy, put in the chat, Jay John, check to make sure you're not on center cam, okay? On the center cam mic, because it sounds the same to me. So like these headphones are not to hear myself, it's to hear my guests, okay? And to hear any audio that plays that I pull up, right? So I can't hear what you guys hear that's coming as far from my microphone. So anyway, I didn't realize that my mic was the wrong mic, and I knew my energy was low because I literally was fighting to stay awake the entire time, right? So after the show, I went to the hospital, and I was diagnosed with COVID-19 for the first time in my life last Friday, and that was rough. Now, thank God, it's not like it used to be, but it's still serious. My wife and I know people personally where like they both got, so like the husband and wife both got sick, and they both got sick, and one survived and the other one died. Okay, so Naomi was really, really concerned, especially given that she works in the hospital system as her full-time job. But shout out to Naomi and to my mom, my wife Naomi and my mom, for taking care of me. Naomi got my prescriptions filled. When I said I went to the hospital, Naomi took me there. Okay, I texted her because I was in no condition to drive. All right, I'm telling you, I almost passed out while talking to and it's not their fault. I was barely hanging on. I almost passed out while talking to Justin from PRX. That's why I ended, like, we got to the end of my questions and I was just like, okay, I don't see any more questions for Justin from the chat. All right, we're done. And I ended the show early because I was fighting to stay awake, because not only I had taken some medicine, but it just wasn't what I needed. But it was, it was like over the counter stuff, right? And because I didn't know what I had. And so it was that. And then I was also drained because seriously, I didn't sleep at all Thursday night. I had chills, fever, restless sleep. I was severely congested. It was a struggle to just keep my eyes open, much less talk. So, Anyway, so Naomi drove me in the hospital, and then my mom made sure my immune system got leveled all the way up. All right, all the way up. She took my immune system all the way up. All right, I mean quick. So she got me this bottle of vitamin D3. All right, she went and mommy got me this, right, among other things. And she's like, we got to boost your immune system. I ain't trying to, I know you're taking medicine. I ain't trying to hear that that's all you need. We're getting your immune system boosted way up. So she got me vitamin C, that bottle of vitamin D3, this bottle of NAC, I think like some elderberry, a bunch of different things for immune support, right? And these were brand new. I finished them. By Sunday, they were empty. All right. So yeah, I got them. And by Sunday, they were empty. I mean, we were mega dosing the vitamin C, did a lot of stuff. All right. And so again, credit to my mom. I slept as much as I could. But then also I got up and I moved around. Now, if you watch Monday's episode of my vlog, you already know all of this because I mentioned it in the vlog. If not, it's still available on the channel. It's going to be available on the channel. It's called JG the Old Strong, and it's my vlog showing my progress, my fitness journey from looking like a giant can of Busted Biscuits to the shape that I'm supposed to be in, or back to the shape I'm supposed to be in. But and it's basic, and then I got a new episodes drop every Monday. So another episode's coming out this coming Monday where I'll be talking about how my training went as I ramped up from just walking on the treadmill because I could barely do anything more than that to running to then actually lifting again. All right. So yeah, check that out. We got some comments. Let's see. Hey Kevin, look. You were late, man. You were late. And so you missed me shouting out your kids. Hey, so I'm gonna do it again. Shout out to you guys. I thank you for saying. I still remember y'all said Uncle John is funny. So I just want you to know that I'm still here singing. I'm still here dancing. All right, because y'all told me that you like it, and John love the kids. All right, John love the kids because I believe the children are the future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. All right, including your kids, Kevin. So shout out to them. Okay, you talking about the mic? Okay, BJ, no problem. Appreciate it. Michael Bradley, what's up, man? Hey, one thing about Mike is taking a break from fighting the haters. Mike is fighting the haters with all 10 knuckles and both elbows every single day on Instagram. He is going off. I'm like, Mike, you need new friends, man. You need new friends. I don't know who you talk to, but stop it. These dudes, all right? But I think Mike just like to fight. But, hey, I am glad you ain't listening to them, man, because, you know, they're going to remember, they say it's not normal to be the way you are. Remember, first rule, normal people die first in a crisis because they're not prepared for it. Carp's Gym, what's up, Carp? What's up, man? Yep. Coach Carp, what's up, my man? Trevor said podcaster problems are real problems. I'm telling you. Jared, what's up, man? Hey, Jared, is this the level of volume you needed? I couldn't give it to you last week, man. I was fighting COVID. All right. But I am back. I'm back. All right. Back like I never left. Never left. Okay. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. I did change my supplementation protocol. So BJ says take NAC daily is one of the best to help fight and prevent illness. I did change my supplementation protocol. Prior to that, I was basically just taking an Animal Pack Multi as well as my testosterone boosting supplement from G Code, and then basically a sleep improvement formula from G Code. And then, of course, I take pre-workout, and BCAAs. And that was it, really. But I went ahead and I got an immune boosting complex that I now take. And the vitamin C intake is going way up. Way up. All right. Rob, what's up? Good morning. Friday morning, gang. That's right. Hey, pleased to see you here live, my man. I know you can't always watch the whole thing. Sometimes you're in the replay, gang. Sometimes you're here live. I'm always glad to see my guy, Rob. Let's see here. And Yeah, I'm telling you. So what I was taking, I mean, Animal Pack has magnesium in it, but I went ahead and I added to that. So yeah, I'm definitely doing it because we are not into that. And hey, that's what I was looking for. Yep, that's right. And we're gonna figure out something related to that. All right. But if you part of the FOC, yeah, you know me, friends of Carp, then you know what YEP is. All right, let's see who turned in their homework this week. And you know what that means. It is time for the first screen share of the day. Relax. I'll be sharing my screen a lot today, okay? But we're going to go ahead. We're going to do it. All right, so let's go ahead and share the screen. Share that screen. Share that screen. Do it. Share that screen. All right. So first item, let's see who turned in the homework. I know Carlos has been putting stuff in there. So he said, you guys may have already seen this, but he said, Mikolo got me crunk. I'm glad to hear that, Carlos, because we're going to need that video from you soon. And by soon, I mean soon. And I do realize it's my fault because I didn't give you the guidelines. But yeah, hey, we need that video. So Carlos is going to be dropping a video about the Mikolo Anubis half rack that he's got there to level up. I mean, that space even looks better. Look at, bam, look at that. I like it. I like that. That thing looks like it was tailor-made for Carlos. Let's see what else we got. And let's see. And oops. Next one is, and I know I responded to that. This was Carlos, 3 a.m. cardio before the show. My man out there in the mean streets of Houston, out there walking, getting it in. Yeah, that looks ominous, Carlos. But hey, I can't think of a better opportunity to practice my jiu-jitsu, boxing, and Muay Thai than to go walking on the mean streets of Houston. So, hey, look, not only are you going to be physically fit, your techniques are going to be precise. All right? Out there walking. And Jared, oh, look at Jared. Okay, Jared just dropped this because I didn't see it. He said, few new items I've been testing this week. All right, so what is that? I know I can tell it's from Black Widow because it's got the signature Black Widow look. All right, so now I got an idea how big it is. And this device right there, I absolutely love that. And what I really love about it is that's actually from a guy in Germany. That's not available here in the States. Now, I know that Farmer Boy Fitness sells a bench that does that. But if you don't want to buy another bench to just dedicate to having a narrow bench, which I don't, then this is an excellent alternative. I just don't like how long it is. But Jared got it. He and I have been talking about it for a while. So, in fact, I'm going to defend Jared, okay? Let's stop the screen share for a second. So, I know last week I was a little bit too tired, a little too under the weather to defend Jared, right? But I know there's this ugly rumor going around that Jared just looks at stuff. All he does is window shop, okay, that he never actually buys stuff. Well, Jared just proved to you that he's bought two new pieces of equipment. And one of which is something that he and I talked about that he shared with me. It's from the guy, like I said, it's in Germany, and it is designed to give you more range of motion for movements like flies. And I even think there's some use for it for doing some back work because you're going to get more range of motion, right? Because a 12-inch wide bench pad is too wide. Unless you're seriously wide, a 12-inch wide bench pad is too wide for you to be able to let your shoulders move freely the way they're designed to when you're doing flies. So you want something that's going to elevate you a little bit off the bench and give you more range of motion so you can train yourself so you can have healthier shoulders. Fix my collar real quick. No, that's true. You cannot post videos in the community section, Jared, but you can post the video on your Instagram. People will watch it there, and you can post the link to that Instagram video in the community section, and people will still click it and go watch it there. So there you go. Home Gym Physique. Hey, what's up, man? So it's been proven that people are much more at risk of illness and dieting who are low in vitamin D levels. High doses of vitamin D with K2, magnesium, zinc, vitamin C, etc. is a must for health. Yes, you are correct. And yeah, I'm doing it, man. I'm doing my thing. I'm doing it. Jared said it's a cable attachment. You know who made it. Yeah, man. I can't wait to see you do some videos, post them on Instagram, and post those links in the community section so we can check it out. Because I know I definitely want to see it. But yeah, y'all back up off Jared, okay? Jared buys stuff. He just doesn't buy everything y'all want him to buy, okay? All right? You don't run Jared. Stand on your business, Jared. Stand on business. Let's see here. No fake checking in. What's up, Jonathan? Big J's checking in for crazy bench press hacks. Hey, look, I found it remarkable. I'm going to tell y'all one of my little things about YouTube, by the way. And I don't mind telling y'all because it ain't going to stop people from doing it. So one of my secrets to getting a lot of engagement on a YouTube short is to post a video where I do something where I don't perform at my best. So basically a fail of some kind. And then I make the title something where I'm asking for advice. And because my channel is about, channel audience is about 55% male. It used to be more like 70% male until we started showing more videos with Naomi. Now it's 55% male, 55% male, 45% female. But because we have such a high percentage of male viewers, men love nothing more than telling other men what to do and how they're wrong. So if you've got a YouTube channel and you want to get engagement on a video, you're like, man, my engagement's low. Just post some videos and make the title of the video something where you're asking people if they think you're wrong. And I promise you, men will come out of the woodwork to tell you how you're wrong and to give you life advice. So anyway, so I posted a video by myself. It was just a clip of my bench press session. Absolutely no context. That's the other thing. You can't give any context in your YouTube short. So I put no context, but basically I did, it was my first bench after getting diagnosed with COVID. And so it was 316.5, right? And so I went ahead and I intended to get a single, but then it was so eaten. So I locked it out. And when I locked it out, I kind of release my arch. Like I rolled my shoulders and everything to lock it out. And I breathed out like, oh. And then I was like, man, that was easy. Let's do another one. Now I'm trying to regain my arch. It's kind of hard for y'all to see, but I'm trying to regain my arch and press. That didn't work out at all, right? So I ended up getting one instead of the double I would have gotten. And so I posted that YouTube Shorts video. But yeah, anyway, there you go. So that wasn't really a bench press hack. That was more of a how to get engagement on a YouTube short hack. All right. By the way, I don't know if y'all noticed. Hold up a second here. Let me go. Let's go on over to Jonathan's channel real quick. Or maybe I can do it. Maybe I can do it here. Let's go back. Look at my mentions. Because I want y'all to know, just because I don't say anything doesn't mean I don't necessarily see it, right? So Jonathan mentioned me. No, it doesn't show it there. But I saw it, Jonathan, where this dude, y'all remember back when he was video bombing my video at Home Gym Con, right? So I did a post letting him know that I saw him. I saw you, man. I saw you. There it is. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's screen share that. Like, hey, man, you were spotted is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say you were spotted, right? So let's go to the No Fake channel. All right, so right here, look at this. And you guys, if you're not subscribed, you need to subscribe to No Fate and join the millions of No Fate fans around the world. So there we go. So see this right here.
Garage gym life, John, just getting it done at Home Gym Con with the whole camera crew, multiple people to get his content created. But where am I? Where am I? Wait for it. Wait for it. Boom, right there. Army of One, getting it done. Simple as that.
Okay. So first of all, so let's go back to why that's a lot. First of all, he's a troll. All right. But two, that's my boy, though. But look, he said with a full camera crew, me and my wife. All right. You full camera crew is Adrian Winning Gluck, their videographer and their editor, or one of these other bigger channels. All right. It's me and my wife taking turns holding an Osmo. He's talking about we got the full camera crew. Yeah, whatever. You better relax. Relax. Lies. All right. Let's see here. JB, what's up, man? Hey, JB, I appreciate you, man. I saw you tag me on Instagram, and when I looked at it, I didn't have time. I was doing a bunch of different things, but I appreciate you shouting out people and letting them know about this show today. So I really appreciate that. That is what gets us to grow. So you are a champion, my man. Wow. Carp said, no fate. We call him the human nimble gimbal. Wow. I wasn't aware of that name. I'm not even sure I'm ever going to use it, but I'm aware now. All right, move on. 6:33. Move on to the next item. Look, I promised Harrison, and so I'm a man of my word. You need to get involved with Curltember. If you do not know what Curltember is, you're about to find out, or you're going to find out today. That's right. You're going to learn today. What's Curltember? So Curltember is an idea from Home Gym Harry, and let me go ahead and pull up this email that Harrison sent me. And it is frankly, it's a great idea. I'm a big fan of anything that is going to increase the what do you call it? Community participation. So I remember a few years ago, like the big thing was you would challenge people to do challenges on Instagram. And this kind of is in line with that. But this is Curltember. Harry said, I'm reading from the email he sent me. He said, Curltember is an idea I had based off of Surinex's Squattober / December / Benchuary. And the purpose of it is to inspire people to bicep curl and win awesome prizes. All right. We like biceps, we like curls, and people like prizes. So it seems like a clean sweep as far as wins go. Curltember, formerly known as September, is the biggest elbow flexing party sweep in the country. It's a month filled with a bunch of sweet curl-related giveaways from 18 generous sponsors who have agreed to donate items as prizes. Curling throughout the month and posting videos is encouraged, but it's not necessary to win anything, but it is fun. If people do choose to share videos of themselves doing bicep curls, any kind of bicep curl, it can be a preacher curl, spider curl, alternating dumbbell curl, supinated dumbbell curl, hammer curl, Zotman curl, easy curl with a standing easy curl with a bar, seated easy curl with a bar, incline dumbbell curls, standing barbell curl with a straight bar. You know, the list goes on. It would be, if you do any of those, it would be great if they tag me, Harry, and any of our awesome sponsors to be featured on our pages and promote Curltember. We still would love to have additional sponsors if companies or individuals want to get involved. More information can be found here. And he gives me a WordPress address. And I know you're thinking to yourself, there's no way he would actually, in the middle of a live stream, go over to that WordPress site. Well, you're wrong. Let's go. Curltember 2025 right here about Curltember. Also, this is Harry's WordPress site. So if you would like to know more about the mysterious 5/8 Society, it's got a link there for that. But Curltember, and got this really nice looking graphic right there. I like that. Entry rules. You make a separate Instagram post from @HomeGym_Harry's account for every sponsor throughout the month of Curltember. Post, which is September. Posts will be made randomly throughout the month, so make sure to follow @HomeGym_Harry on Instagram. To enter, curlers will have to like the post, tag 2 people in the comments, follow @HomeGym_Harry and the sponsor's Instagram accounts, and you want to share that to your story. The contest for each item will end after 48 hours of the post being released, and the winner will be chosen at random. Post your sick curl video. Not necessarily, you don't necessarily have to be sick to curl, but if you are sick and you curl, that is definitely going to apply as well. Don't forget to tag @HomeGym_Harry and the sponsor and use the hashtag Curltember hashtag. And for your viewing pleasure, because there's a lot more that I am not going to read, I am going to put it right here. Boom. All right. So there is the link. I just posted it in the live chat. And for those of you who are watching in the replay gang, shout out to the replay gang. I will have that in the video description when the show is over, when the live show is over. Jared Martin says, I love it. Triceps shouldn't be neglected either, though. That's what happens when you bench, Jared. That's benchuary. You cannot bench press without your triceps. This is a known fact. But yes, you're right. Triceps have like a nose crusher marathon. That'd be amazing. I ain't gonna do it, but that'd be amazing. Let's see here. JB says this is the best Friday morning show out there. Hey, my man, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. That's why you should become a channel member. All right. The link, you know what? I'm not gonna wait for you to go find the link. I'm here to help y'all become I'm here to be part of the solution. So right here, boom. This is the link to become a channel member. And I'm gonna post it right now. It is literally 99 cents a month. Less than $12 a year. Okay, just join and don't ever quit your membership. $12 a year. All right, less than $12 a year. So there you go. JB, you should become a channel member. If you're a fan, become a channel member. Oh, you know what? JB just pointed out an important rules distinction. Any curls except leg curls. Okay, so as Arnold says, the leg biceps don't work for this competition. Glad you pointed that out. Trevor, who is still here, says, pay that man his money. That's right. All right. Who, as No Fate says, who's going to curl the boats? Hey, look at that. We're just all about these slogans today. All right, let's move on to something that doesn't affect me because I ain't got one, but it might affect you if you are thinking about getting one. And that is a lawsuit. What? Yup, lawsuit. So, Peloton is getting sued. I know we're like, well, are they or aren't they? Well, they are, because what happened is a judge had said basically a Manhattan appeals court revives claims that the company misled investors about excess stock and demand. So what does that mean? All right, basically, you know, the demand for Peloton or exercise related stuff rose during COVID lockdown, right? But by 2021, the demand died down, and Peloton, according to this article, had warehouses full of unsold inventory while they're continuing to make products. So they had warehouses full of stuff that wasn't being sold, but they're still at the Peloton factory making more Pelotons, right? And then not telling investors, hey, this money that you're giving us to make more Pelotons is going to waste because we can't sell the product we already got. And on Wednesday, a federal appeals panel in Manhattan reversed in part a lower court's dismissal, saying investors can move forward with claims that Peloton and several former executives, including co-founder and then CEO John Foley, made false and misleading statements that propped up the stock. So basically, they lied. They lied to them. They lied to them. In case you're wondering, by the way, Foley left Peloton in 2022 and has since pivoted to home decor with Ernesta. So pray for everyone in the custom runner and hallway rugs industry, because John Foley is now amongst you. Okay. Anyway, investors are saying that Peloton concealed the weakening demand for their what I would consider to be high-priced equipment, while warehouses held roughly 3 months worth of unsold equipment. 3 months worth of unsold Pelotons in a warehouse, and they're still making more, getting money from investors. All right. Peloton later disclosed, the article goes on to say, that 91% of its inventory from that time was unsold. All right. Why should you care? You're like, why do I care? All right. I'm going to tell you. Relax. I got to tell you. Give me a second. Because the used Peloton market continues to grow. So if you do want a Peloton, if you are like, hey, you know what, this might be a cool thing to check out, the used Peloton market is continuing to grow, as some of the people who got Pelotons only because their gyms were closed are going back to their gyms. And now they got this bike in their apartment, their studio apartment or whatever. Like, I don't want this thing anymore. And so you can get them on the used Peloton market. Now, I encourage you to go to our guy Ari's service, Trade My Stuff. Ari was on here a few months ago, early this year, and he's got a white glove service. So he's got a much better warranty than Peloton does. So I just showed you why Peloton was losing money. They got to make their money back. Well, that explains why they're getting into the used Peloton market, right? But their warranty is not as good as Ari's, and their service is is not as comprehensive in terms of the used Peloton as brands like Trade My Stuff. So to me, you should buy it through Trade My Stuff and then go see if you can get your account activated or whatever, because Ari's going to not only deliver it, they're going to set it up, make sure that everything's working right, and then he gives you a warranty through his company. So to me, you go with Trade My Stuff, and you guys can I'll put the link back to Ari's video, his interview, in the description for this video, so you guys can go check it out, or you can just go search the older episodes of this live show. And like I said, Ari was on here a few months ago. We'll talk more about it. Also, and why should you get a used one? Well, look for the price of new Pelotons to stay in the nosebleed seats, because they have got to make their money back and show profit, not just fast, but quick, fast, and in a hurry. Okay? Because you know why? They might be selling Pelotons now, but if this lawsuit goes through, they're going to owe money. And guess where they're going to get the money from? You! That's right, not me. I ain't buying a Peloton. I'm good. All right, we got some new channel members. Hey, I appreciate y'all. So we got the Bar Gym Reviews. What's up, my man? Hey, YouTube member. What's up? Welcome to the tribe. Welcome to the tribe. I appreciate you, man. JBTV became a member. Yep. Welcome to the tribe. Welcome to the tribe. What's up, my man? Just $12 a year. But, man, you guys are making this thing work. All right, you giving we got motion because of y'all. We got motion. We got motion. We got motion. Thank you so much, man. All right. Let's see here. All right, let's see. Carp's hey, Carp has been a member. He said, "Welcome to membership, fellas." Hey, my guy. Appreciate that. He said, "Put me on the podium." JB said, "Put me on the podium. I'm bronze now." Hey, look, and you get when we hit when we hit 500 members, we're gonna start doing members only giveaways, because I'm gonna be taking, in case you're wondering what the money is gonna do. Not only is it gonna buy not only does it buy equipment for the channel, for the show and stuff like that, but I also use that money to put it into giveaways for the members. And once we get to the point where we have enough steady members, that's where the money will come from to do product reviews. Okay. So that goes back to what we were talking about last week, when it was like people were saying, well, how do you keep I think Jared is one that brought up. He said, well, how do you keep, shout out to Jared, who's also a channel member. Said, how do you make sure that the product reviewers are impartial? Well, one way is you make sure that the product reviewers aren't being paid by the people who make the product that they're reviewing. Make them work for you. And that's what we're trying to do here. And that's why I keep telling people, hey, join the channel, because if you join the channel, I work for you, and it's just $12 a year. All right. Hey, JB says, forgive me for my sins. I know I did existed. Dude, that's my fault, because I don't do a good enough job of telling y'all, but I am telling you guys now. And Carp said Peloton is they're charging $99 activation fees. So if you buy a used one, be aware of that. So they were still going to get some of your money. I know, I don't mind the activation fee, because you're essentially getting a monthly service. But if I can spend less money on the same quality of products on the purchase end, I'm going to do it. So there's that. So there's that. All right, let's move down. All right. Next item. Let's get out here. We're moving along. 6:46. Oh, we're going to stop the presses, because you know what time it is. We got more news items, but we'll be back. We got some, if we have time at the end of the show, we'll do the news items at the end of the show. If not, I'll just push them to next week. Because it's 6:46. So you know what time it is? You know what time it is? What time is it, kids? Y'all know what time it is? It's time to get mad. It's the recliner of rage.
It's the recliner of rage, 'cause he's not happy.
Okay, today's recliner of rage is dedicated to California. That's right. Today we're going to complain about California, because I was just there, and that's potentially where the COVID virus tried to catch me slipping. So in California, not only do they have a warning label, I don't know if they have it on all rental cars, but I've seen them on rental cars, on the passenger windows of rental cars, to make sure that drivers and passengers know that automobiles emit a substance that, if ingested, will kill you. All right. They literally have a warning label, or they had warning labels on the back passenger window of cars. It's a driver's side passenger window driver's side rear passenger window. And it says basically this vehicle emits a substance known to the state of California that to cause cancer and birth defects and all kinds of other stuff, and it can also cause death. All right. Yeah, it's automobile exhaust. If you put your mouth over the exhaust pipe and inhale it, you'll die. Okay. Everybody knows that, but only in California do they need to warn you about it. Okay. But not only are they living that kind of lifestyle, but they also created an environment. This is old rage, but I just found out about it, so it's new to me, and I got mad about it the other day. All right. So California has also created an environment where the Ecological Alliance LLC, not a made-up name at all, although it sounds like it. The Ecological Alliance LLC was able to submit a notice of violation against RitFit, which is how I found out. I was researching something else about RitFit, and I saw this. The Ecological Alliance LLC submitted a notice of violation against RitFit. Oh my God. Y'all ain't gonna believe me when I tell you what they said RitFit did, right? So I'm gonna screen share this because I want y'all to see that I don't make things up. Okay, there it is. This is the actual complaint from 2020. All right. But I'm not gonna make you read the whole thing. The complaint said that RitFit created dumbbells that supposedly violated California's Safe Drinking Water and Toxic Enforcement Act of 1986. How on earth does a dumbbell violate a drinking water act? Well, because RitFit, the lawyer in this, what's his name? Vineet. What's my man's name? Vineet Dubé. Yes, Vineet Dubé. Vineet Dubé said that RitFit is in violation because they didn't put warning labels on their dumbbells to say that if you eat a dumbbell or you rub it on your skin for too long so that the surface of the dumbbell comes off, that it could be harmful to you. So in California, apparently they don't know that you can't eat a dumbbell. So what Vineet wanted was RitFit to put warning labels on all their dumbbells. We'll come back to that in a second. Recall all the dumbbells. Now, this was a complaint from 2020. This is the height of COVID. He wanted them to recall all their dumbbells and pay a fine. Now, let's put the other two aside. We're going back to warning labels. Where exactly are you supposed to put a warning label on a dumbbell? Would somebody tell me, and I just told you about the warning label that was on the rental car. The sticker was about this big, okay? Where are you going to put the warning label on a dumbbell? Also, you got to keep in mind, you got to put it on every single dumbbell because if people in California ain't smart enough to not eat dumbbells, they definitely ain't smart enough to buy dumbbells in a pair unless somebody tells them. So what happens if somebody buys just one dumbbell and they happen to buy the one dumbbell that you didn't put the label on? So you got to put it on every single dumbbell, okay? Now, also it's got to be on every single dumbbell because what happens if somebody sells the dumbbells used? And then also it can't just be a sticker because what happens if the sticker comes off? And they sell the dumbbell used, and the poor people in California and their children start nibbling on the dumbbells and they get sick because of your dang negligence and not letting people know that dumbbells are not for eating and consuming. Seriously? Seriously. Seriously. Mike, defend your state. You talk about select my words. Well, man, look, let me tell you something about California, okay? Your entire state is one earthquake away from being an island, okay? And you'd be barely, and then, in my opinion, at that point, y'all gonna have to petition to be still allowed to be in America, okay? We already got way too many islands in America. We don't need another one, okay? We got Puerto Rico, Hawaii, U.S. Virgin Islands. We don't need another one. So if there's an earthquake and California ends up an island, hey, as far as I'm concerned, y'all cut your losses and y'all go back to being a nation. Okay, y'all can operate independently and figure it out. Just figure it out. But that's one. Number two, I don't know what's going on with y'all. You know what? I'm not gonna say that. All right. All I'm gonna say is, ain't nobody scared of California. Okay, ain't nobody scared of y'all. Ain't nobody scared of California. All right. I will get everybody I know to go over to the dang border and just jump up and down in the air all at the same time, and we'll shove y'all into the ocean. You keep on playing with me, Mike. Keep playing with me. And I just defended you too. I just defended you not an hour ago. I defended you, Mike. You the reason. Hey, what happens? If the earthquake happens, hey, look, my words got power, okay? I got faith. I got faith as the grain of a mustard seed. You better relax. You better relax. Let's see here. JB said during Curltember, we eat dumbbells for breakfast. Well, I guess you don't do it in California. What was there any injury sustained by the RitFit products? No, that's the thing. He wasn't even claiming injury. He had no case studies. He just said, well, they made the dumbbells, and at the height of COVID, they didn't put stickers on the dumbbells to tell people not to eat them. Seriously. That's what's wrong with the whole state. That thing was filed, and he should have handed it and got slapped immediately. Like, get this out of my office. But they take him serious. They take that joke seriously over there. That's what's wrong with that entire state. Anyway, now, Carp said, what's wrong with that guy? Oh, don't worry about him. He used to eat dumbbells as a kid. I'm telling you, seriously, you don't know. Okay, now I understand as a parent, my wife and I together have 4 boys. They're men now, with one with kids of his own. And we also have a little girl. So we've reared 5 children. And then also we've babysat a lot of kids, for no reason other than that we're nice people. So I understand that kids, all it takes is losing eye contact with them for a second, and they're going to do some junk they ain't supposed to be doing. All right, I get that. So I'm not saying your kids might not nibble on the dumbbells. But what I am saying is the likelihood is if your kid is the type of kid to eat a dumbbell. So you don't leave your kids around the dumbbell because that's common sense parenting. I don't need to put warning labels on my dumbbells and raise the price of the dumbbell. All the Cali does not have to pack it in because of that. Y'all need to fix yourselves, get your lives together, because you create an environment where people think it's okay to submit junk like frivolous lawsuits like that. All right? The fact is y'all allowed that environment, plus all the others. Don't get me started on your gun laws, okay? Don't get me started on your gun laws. And also the fact that y'all care more about the habitat of these small not marsupials, but these small mammals and rats and stuff, so that you get these fires every day. I used to live in California, okay? I remember this one dude got arrested because he jumped on some equipment, and he was digging a fire break because he saw the fire coming towards his house. He was trying to dig a fire break, and they said he destroyed some animal's habitat. Some animal that was going to die anyway in the fire, okay? Don't get me started. You know what? I wish we had shot that water buffalo that day at Camp Pendleton, okay? I wish we had shot, not water buffalo. I wish we had shot that buffalo that day at Camp Pendleton. And I wish I had kicked that jackrabbit that tripped me when we were doing unit PT, run up and down the mountains in Camp Pendleton. I wish I had kicked it. That'll teach California. All right. Yes, if your kids, come on, man, as a parent, you can't lie to yourself. Hey, man, my kid the type of kid that'll eat dumbbells. I don't need to leave him around the dumbbells by himself. You just know it. You just know it. Unless you're in California, I guess, then you need warning labels. I swear. Your entire state. You know what? I'm not going to calm down. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this.
It's the recliner of rage. It's the recliner of rage, because he's not happy.
Get your lives together, California. Get your lives together. Wake up. Good God. I think you're unfixable. Prove me wrong. I think you're unfixable. Prove me wrong. Okay? There we go. All right. It is 6:57. Shout out to the Central Time Zone and to all of you who watch and comment each Friday. Without you, John, that's me, would be all by myself. Yep, and we don't want to. I don't want to be all by myself. All right. It was horrible. Like when I'm here in the house and I was fighting COVID, I had my mask on. I actually had to sleep in this room, and I'd open the door and wave at my wife who's in our room. We had the doors open, we wave at each other. That was horrible. I don't want to be all by myself. So I appreciate all you guys who are here each and every Friday with me, because being by yourself is not fun. I'm just telling you, it's just not. Now we are about to go straight into our conversation with my guy from the Bar Gym Reviews, Anthony Gutierrez. I'm trying to say his name correctly, Anthony Gutierrez, and I'm actually pretty excited to have this conversation with Anthony. So this has been a long time in the making. But first of all, I'm going to give a shout out to everyone who just joined us from LinkedIn. Thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. If this is your first time checking out the show, make sure you follow the show page Up Way Too Early with Garage Gym Life so you don't miss a single one of our conversations. My next guest, Anthony Gutierrez, is a content creator. And so if you are a brand that uses influencers, content creators, as part of your marketing and your messaging with the public, you're going to want to listen to this conversation with Anthony, because you're going to hear how he is creating content to help make not only his audience more educated, but also to help promote your product. So it's kind of a win-win situation. Anthony, you ready? He said, I'm ready. All right, my man. Okay, so Anthony Gutierrez from the Bar Gyms Reviews YouTube channel. Anthony, man, thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life.
Of course, it's a pleasure, John.
What's up?
How we doing?
Mm-hmm. Man, I'm fantastic. I told you earlier, man, I'm feeling young, looking fresh, feeling handsome. I'm ready to go.
Hey, yo.
So I know you got a hard out because you got to go teach America's youth.
Well, actually today, believe it or not, I have, let's see, I gotta get my wisdom teeth pulled out in about 3 hours. So I'm looking good now. So, you know, I hate to break it to all the people that want to watch more videos next week, but we're probably gonna take maybe a week off. We'll see what we look like.
Look, man, if rappers could create mumble rap, I feel like you could create mumble content videos. All right. Look at it as a challenge. Matter of fact, Kanye West's entire career started because he had a car wreck and his jaw was wired shut. So get that Kanye energy. Just don't turn crazy.
Could be the start.
That's it. This could be your big break. Y'all heard it here first. All right. Anthony West. All right. Anthony West. All right. So, man, look, your channel started in April of this year, and you are already over the 1,000 subscribers mark. That's phenomenal, first of all. All right. And that's less than a year for you to go from zero, zilch, zero, nada to over 1,000 subscribers. So congratulations.
Yeah, crazy.
So tell me, what was your secret to getting to your first? We're going to break this down because we got people who are watching who are content creators, and they're going to want to know this. And if y'all are watching, this is about the time when you need to take out your pen and pad and pay attention. Everybody who's got a home gym or a content channel and it's under 1,000 subs, time to take notes, friends. So how did you get to your first 100, your first 500, and then get to 1,000 subs?
All right. Well, let me start with, like, first of all, this is not like what I wanted to do in my life. I mean, I'm not saying it's not what I don't like it. You know, right now I'm a teacher, I'm a coach.
Okay, I'm about to say. I'm about to say what I want to do. I'm like, hey, this conversation. Yeah. Okay, we're done. Get out of here.
But here we go. Like, I love gym equipment, and it's one of those things where I started watching you guys in the community, and it's such a great community in general. Honestly, yeah, there's obviously some people that post some crazy stuff all the time, but there's a lot of support, and it was one of those things where my wife, I just said something like, "Man, my gym's pretty cool. Like, I feel like I could put that on the internet." And she's like, and then you're like, and she's like, yeah. And she goes, "No, I think you can." And then I was like, "Yeah, I don't know though." And she goes, "Just do it." And I was like, I don't know. And she goes, "Wow, I just thought you were better than that." And I'm a competitive person at heart. And she's like, "I bet you, it was kind of like a dare, And then I'm like, well, if you don't think I can do it, now I'm going to do it. Right. Okay, It just started with a home gym tour, like most channels probably out there. So if you got your notepad out and everything, I don't know what the secret is. trust me, I've watched and had advertised to me the how to get to 1,000 subs, how to get to this, how to get to that.
Yeah, those are all lies. Just
They're
ignore
all
those.
lies. Yeah. I think probably my first 100 or my first maybe 50. I don't know if I got that many friends. Probably more friends and family more than anything else, which is kind of scary because then you're like, man, these people are gonna really like see me, you know, at Thanksgiving or something and be like, man, what are you doing? Or you know, whatever. So you know, that's how we kind of started. And then like I don't remember which video it was. It was probably it's probably the video that I can't even remember what it was called now, where I had Carp from the Garage Gym Reviews, his picture on there. No collaboration with him at all. Just, you know, a familiar face. And I think the algorithm picked me up then, which was kind of cool. And, you know, I try to do the, you know, use some search terms that are very popular, and I use some tools to kind of look at those things. But at the end of the day, I think I just try to be honest. And once I started just, you know, I got to like that 500 subs, that's when it really started to take off. So I had some days where it was kind of crazy, you know, for a while there. And, you know, I started in April was the channel. I think my first video was in May though. And I think from May to June, you know, I had like, you know, 1 sub, 4 subs, 6 subs, you know, a few at a time, post another video. And then it's like, oh, I got like 20 now. And then all of a sudden it was like, I had a day, and I think it was after that video that I had with the picture of Carp, had or Coop, sorry, not Carp, Coop, sorry. Coop from Garage Gym Reviews. All of a sudden
I like
it was
what
like,
you said first.
I had like 175 in one day. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy. So it's one of those things where, yeah, right. Yeah, make sure you click on it for the watch time. You know what I'm saying? The watch hours. But
okay, no problem.
Yeah, no, just hello, guys.
All right.
So, you know, it's a pretty janky setup.
I don't mind.
Look at that. Look at that. This camera's not even. It's not even even. We're at an angle. You know, so it's one of those things where, you know, I just kind of adapted as we went. I had some people actually comment, and some, you know, usually I don't listen to the comments, but I had some people comment like, "Hey, man, your intro, like the intro you're watching right now, that's way too long." People clicked off, right? Like,
yeah.
If you looked at, you know, you look at the algorithm stuff and you get that little graph.
Yeah.
Right as my little intro started, it was like, boop, gone.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know,
so you'd be surprised how many people don't look at that, because it is like, I'm not looking at all that's too complicated. It's like literally YouTube gives you that for free. You look on there and you see where people stop watching. You're like, okay, go to your video at that time point and see what you did, and don't do it anymore.
Just don't do that ever again.
Just don't do that ever again.
Don't do
that
it,
simple.
right? Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of funny. And then, you know, I've had some other people in the community. Once I got to that like 5, and then I got to 1,000. 1,000 was crazy to me. Like it felt like, you know, again, you see those videos where, you know, oh, there's my wife shouting me out over here. Anyways,
oh yeah,
you know, you see the videos.
Hold on. How long you been married?
Oh God, 3 years now.
Okay. My wife and I have been married.
Wait, 4? Oh gosh. Yeah.
My wife and I have been married over 20 years. And the first thing I'm gonna tell you is, when your wife shouts you out, don't go with the, oh man, that's my wife. You better be excited. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I'm just surprised she's up right now. I'm just surprised she's up.
Hey, she gave you 2. She said the Bar Gym Reviews. So hey,
there we go.
I'm saying he's really, Emily, he is excited that you're here, and he's excited every time you're around him.
Yeah, if you see, I already did what I said I wasn't gonna do. I was talking about the angle of the camera, because she is my videographer, you know.
Okay.
No background in that at all, but she does a good job. A lot of post editing. So
hey, look, I like how you pop stuff up on screen though. That's another thing I think that's underrated. And then I also see too many people when they're doing videos, they don't look at like what is successful now. And and people will be amazed how little technology is necessary to be able to do something as simple as putting stuff up on screen, putting some graphics on screen, and just making it.
I mean, listen, I'm not
more
like
interesting.
I don't have a full video production, like No Fake Claims.
Yeah, me and my wife. Okay, our full team,
production team like that.
Our
we're not
crew,
that big. We're not that big. Honestly, I mean, my process, it's kind of funny. It's a cell phone, and I have a tablet, and I kind of just create a script, I have a little app that kind of, you know, has you know, kind of reads it off for me, or, you know,
a teleprompter. We got that.
Yeah, teleprompter. I couldn't think of the word.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Use the teleprompter app.
Yeah, I use the teleprompter app, and it's one of those things where you know, it's just
that's also not expensive.
No, not at all.
I'm telling you,
not at all, not at all. So it's one of those things. I got that sitting there. I got a cell phone, or my wife with the cell phone, and we just record. And you know, the biggest expenses I've made so far, to be honest, was like buying a hard drive, because I wanted to back up a lot of the videos and some of the B-roll stuff that I do, because sometimes I'll reuse those things. You know, if I'm going to talk about my power rack or something like that, I'll probably reuse that. So I just have some things kind of saved. But yeah, editing, I don't pay for an editor. I use the YouTube Create stuff. You know, maybe
also
one day,
free. Also free.
You know, one of these days, maybe, you know, I'll become big time like you or whatever, and use crazy editing, you know, with your production team.
My production,
your production team. We're gonna keep
to
that
the entire
alive,
team. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
so
look, you gotta manifest it. Yeah, manifest
exactly. Manifest it. Exactly. Speak it into existence. Speak it into existence.
So let's catch up with the chat. First of all, Kevin says, I'm feeling a virus coming in, but I have an hour-long run tomorrow at 6 a.m. So I can definitely say, or most likely, so I think I caught it at the airport. So I cannot say with 100% confidence that those people are not the same people who made you sick, Kevin, because I don't know where they were going. They could have been going to Japan too, potentially. But it wasn't my fault. If you catch the same thing I had, I want you to know you didn't get it from me through them. They gave it to both of us. All right. So I need you to bounce back. All right. Bounce back like I did. And that cardio run, I hope you feel better, man. That cardio run will do you some good. Carp said, talking about you, Anthony, he said, my man is, Carp said, my man is pumping out the content, and you definitely are, man. JB said your next video could be like your Michael Jordan flu game. I'm telling you, it worked for Jordan.
There you go.
See what the flu game did. You know, we live in a world where if pretty like in like another 10 years, nobody will know what that phrase means. Michael Jordan flu game.
I teach the youth. I'm going to tell you right now, middle schoolers,
they don't know who Michael Jordan is.
Sometimes they don't, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like what are we doing?
Well, you know what? That's how I was about Dr. J. I didn't know anything about Dr. J except he was in like comics in the back of comic books talking about Converse or something like that. So Vintage Weights, Rob says, another teacher, welcome. I bet at least 25% of content creators are or were teachers. Rob, I want you to know, by the way, I still remember, because I don't forget anything, when I was interviewing you and you told me that you wanted to make a point. You made a point of telling me that we weren't supposed to talk about you being a teacher. However, you violate that constantly here in the live chat. I'm not taking responsibility. I'm just pointing out that it wasn't me that outed you as a teacher. That's all I'm saying. Okay. All right. That's all I'm saying. Carp said it's a fun hobby. Everyone has a voice. It's cool to see more options. Yeah. Cause man, it's like, I think about it like, I think of YouTube as like television, right? Cause it's really replacing TV. And to me, it's like, there's hundreds of, probably thousands of television shows, right? On network television. We don't watch them all. Nobody watches every show. You find the ones you like and you watch those semi-regularly or regularly. You find the ones that you tune into that you can't miss a single episode of. And I think that's how this content creation game is. Sometimes people have like this. When I started doing it, there were people who literally were like jealous because they wanted to be the only ones and they wouldn't help each other. They wouldn't help anybody else. But I'm seeing a lot more collaboration now, which I see as a good thing. So yeah, I 100% agree, man. Let's see. Kinsey, speaking of which, Kinsey, what's up? She says, hey fam, good morning. I'm excited for this one. You're supposed to be excited about all of them, Kinsey. See that? How can you say that? Let's see. And JB said Carp is also a home gym legend, though. So no shade to Coop. I'm throwing shade at Coop, but Carp is a home gym legend. That's my
He is. He's the man. He's the man. Honestly, side story, Instagram, Carp helps me out sometimes. He does. He'll shoot me a message here and there, and he's just he's helpful to the community. Honestly, Carp is the man. He is the man.
If you have not gotten a yep on one of your videos from Carp, you're not really living your best life.
Haven't made it yet. Haven't made it.
You're just not there. You know, I don't.
Exactly.
You and I can't relate. We can't relate. If you haven't gotten a yep on your video from Carp, we can't relate. I can't relate to you. Okay. I was trying to save you, but I can't shoot you bail anymore, man. Emily said, "Hey, don't be hating the cameraman."
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
And you said y'all married 3 years, and she said
It's 4.
It's 4.
It's 4. I thought about it. I keep living in the year 2024. I swear.
All right, I'm gonna help you out again.
It's early, right?
All right, no.
Early.
What you say is, Emily, I don't remember how long we've been married because to me, every year is like the first one.
Yeah. Hey, that's how you stay married for as long as you have.
There you go. I'm trying to help you. Okay, I'm trying to
wisdom.
Help you.
I like it. I like it. Too bad she's watching, so now I got to use something else. But that's all right. I'll take it.
That's right. Oh, I got you, man. I got you. All right. Let's see. Hey, Carp is right. Carp said he told you that if you're serious enough, you need to be at Home Gym Con 2025. You were all in, but you just had a baby. Congratulations. Yep. But next year, no kids, no new kids next year.
No.
We need to see you in 2026. In fact, we're going to be doing the show live. We're going to have another live in-person show because that first one was a lot of fun. We're hoping to make it bigger than last year. And I need you in the audience. I need you there. All right. So you'll get details later, but you definitely need to be there, Anthony, at the live in-person show.
I'll be there.
And Kinsey said, make sure you bring the baby. Oh, yeah.
I got 2, so it's a challenge. It's a challenge to go anywhere. We'll see.
Man, you know how many women are at Home Gym Con who will lose their minds about the baby? Yeah. I'm saying they'll be like fighting to like, oh, let me hold the baby, let me hold the baby, let me hold the baby.
Yeah.
It won't be a problem. It's legit like going to a family reunion. It's like, except you like most of the people there.
There you go.
Let's see here. Jonathan said first rule of teaching is we don't talk about teaching. Hey, there you go. And the second rule of teaching is we don't talk about teaching. I'm just saying, look, man. I'm just saying he told me not to say anything, but he's constantly on here shouting out that he's a teacher. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying about it.
Hey, I'll be honest, as a teacher, I tried that too. I said, you know what? We're going to keep it on the DL. We're going to keep it on down low. And then it just takes one student to find you. One, and they always do. And it's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. I mean, I keep everything pretty clean, but it's one of those things where, it was actually, I think one of my football players found me, and then it was like, it spreads like wildfire. You know what I mean? So
I'm obviously I'm not a teacher at all. My daughter actually, I think she got me some subs because she told the kids at her school that her dad's a YouTuber. Yeah. And I mean, all they hear is he's a YouTuber. So they immediately, some of them came sub to the channel. Some of them literally some of them watch this show. Right. And so that's why I'm like, we know cussing because I don't know when they're watching, if they watch it on replay. I'm like, look, let's relax. Right. But then also, I think that the best example of a teacher who's doing it right is Sean from Bear Steel.
Yeah.
All his kids, the kids he teaches know that he does this. And even that he runs Bear Steel, but he uses it to teach. He's a business teacher, and he uses it to teach business principles to them. Like, as an example, this or whatever. So I think it's just in how you play it. How you play it.
I'm an English teacher. We do like a public speaking unit in my class, and my coworkers, some of them at least, kind of teased like, you should do one where they do a YouTube channel, like a as a public speaking platform or whatever. And then, I'm like, oh man, I don't know, because then I'll for sure get outed with my new students this year. But we'll see. It could be in the works for my class, I guess.
All right. Rob says that he never said he was a teacher. So I'm just going to put this up here. If you read this sentence that says another teacher, welcome. I'd bet at least 25% of content creators are aware teachers. Would you assume that he's a teacher?
I would.
Thank you. All right. That's all I'm saying.
I would.
That's all I'm saying. Now, Eric Echoes said he was forced to hold a baby against my will at Home Gym Con. So these are the dark stories that are coming out now, okay? Stories of trauma.
Here comes the 30 for 30.
Yeah. Rob says, bring the baby. Home Gym Con Grip Strength Championship had 2 female competitors who had their babies with them, and while competing between lifts, they held their children. And that is strong. Okay?
That is strong. Stronger than me.
I will say also, depending on how old your older kid is, the swing sesh booth is always a hit. kids like to go there and they just climb all over it, and
Listen.
they don't mind because it's actually excellent advertising for their business because that's the point of Swing Sesh. So
Right,
they're like, yeah,
right.
play on it. Yeah.
I started looking for, we got a swing set this past spring, and I started looking things up, and then, you know, you get the algorithm with gym stuff, and I immediately got Swing Sesh, every other ad on my Facebook and my Instagram. So I'm very aware of Swing Sesh. She would love it. My oldest daughter's 3, so she would love it.
Oh, dude,
love
I'm
it.
telling you, it's like when you come, I promise you that you'll see it. To me, it's definitely worth getting. I mean, our youngest is 10, so we're kind of out of that now, but we do have grandkids, so it's still not out of the realm of possibility that we'll get it. But yeah, I think it's 100% a worthwhile investment if you know you're going to stay in that house for a while.
Yeah. My biggest thing is I would love to lift outside, but I live in Ohio, and like right now it'd be cool, but give it a few more weeks. I'm sure it's not so nice.
Oh yeah, it's a half of the year type deal.
Oh yeah.
So tell me this though. So you told us how you got to 1,000 subs. Did you have to adjust what you did to grow from one threshold to the next? Like, I know you kind of mentioned some changes you made as far as like the different kinds of like adding editing and that kind of stuff, but that was kind of like an overview. Is there anything you did, let's say at 500 subs, did you say, well, I'm not going to ask family to subscribe anymore? Or do you still say, hey, ask your family to subscribe? Do you still send your videos to your family and friends? Do you do, is there anything that you had to stop doing in order to allow yourself to grow?
Honestly, for me, it's kind of just, sounds gross saying as a teacher, like the growth mindset, because we always say that in education, but it was as simple as like, why looking at my analytics and just looking at everything and realizing that, people don't like certain topics too. So if you look, they have like a search tool, I can't remember what's called in that YouTube Create. And you can look like topics up and it'll say like, oh, your audience likes this.
Right.
Stuff like that. I'll be honest, like, oh man, some people probably roast me for this. I don't lean on it too heavily. But I have, like, when I'm brainstorming things, you only got so much time in the world. So I've jumped on some like the chat GPT before. Just like, hey, give me some ideas. Think of, some things, these are the content that I've been creating. What's something I haven't done yet? And, it always gives me something that's kind of crazy, but and then after that, I kind of work off of what I'm doing. When I got to 500, I think it was just, I don't know how to explain it other than maybe the algorithm. Editing got a little bit more. I did more of the pop-up stuff where I was, screen recording some websites and trying to get as much of the information and like dimensions of things. And then I had like my first product sent to me. That was kind of cool. Didn't do so well on that, so I feel bad because I feel like my cable attachment videos do well, barbells do well. And then I did, I did a review for a company, and I love the machine, Yasuda, the elliptical. I think it's a great machine. I know you got one. Actually,
My wife loves that thing. Yeah.
You guys just posted a video a few days ago. I got one coming out today with my, my 30 days later kind of thing. So it's kind of funny. Right. But I think it's a great machine. And then my views were, I think I was like, maybe in the 300s or 400s, not the thousands like I was getting with my other videos. But just changing things and kind of realizing what my audience likes. And then it just feels like things kind of picked up. So I know you're probably going to ask it, what's my best or, performing video stuff, cable attachments. People love cable attachments. They love variety. So I want to lean into that for sure. I got to buy more. So then that's a barrier too. But I think as a channel, you just got to try to grow and see what's next. Right. And what are people doing in the community that's got traction too. But also just do what you like, man. I mean, just do what you like. That's at the end of the day, that's what we're here for, right? I'm just here to do what I want to do and what I enjoy to do. And that's just kind of been the base so far, I guess.
So there's a couple of things, but that are in there. First of all, I looked at your channel, and obviously So this is a thing I had to pay for, but it wasn't like super expensive. But it basically analyzes any YouTube channel I go on. It tells me what their best performing videos are.
Yeah.
Compared, it shows like the hashtags they use, or not hashtags. That's an Instagram thing. It shows the like how they tag their video and things like that, right?
Yeah.
And then there's another thing through vidIQ that tells you like, okay, in your niche, your topic area, who are the top people in your topic area, and then who are also your closest competitors, right? So it just shows you like, it tells you, okay, well, this guy who's close to you just made a video about this. That way, if you want to go make a video about it too, or maybe do not necessarily like to copy them, but maybe you want to say, hey, so Bromley does this kind of thing. Alexander Bromley, he'll see somebody post something, and then he'll make a video saying, can you believe what this guy just said? Like as a rebuttal video.
Yeah.
You get some of that because you get the like some metrics, analytics like that, right? Yeah. So I don't do that. But that information is still out there. However, I will say that sometimes you have to distrust what the algorithm tells you.
Yeah.
As far as the analytics, right? Because it'll tell you, well, this is what's hot right now. Well, I'm going to draw an analogy with my wife's family's business. They have a family corporation, right? And they have they have timber on their land. So it takes 10 years for the trees to grow. They sell the trees, right? Well, they said, well, we got to have something that makes money from year 1 through 9.
Right.
We sell the trees, we plant new trees. Now we got to wait from now to the next 9 years. We got to have something that makes money because we're not going to make it another sale until year 10. And so you need to have that, but I think you also need to have some content that consistently gets views. For me, that's stall mats. I made a video called No More Smelly Stall Mats. Because horse stall mats always going to smell.
Horse stall mats. It always comes back to horse stall mats, don't it?
Because they're the cheapest way to do flooring. Yeah. They're always going to smell. Okay.
Yeah.
And there are always going to be people trying to figure out how to get the smell out because they buy the horse stall mat before they realize that it stinks.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I agree. Been there. That's how I started too.
And then also my thumbnail for it is it's me in a gas mask. Okay.
There you go.
So it's a very eye-catching thumbnail. I've never had to update it. I've never done anything with the video, but it does consistent numbers, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, that's I have certain videos, like I don't have any one long form video upload that's more than 30,000 views. But I've got several that are in the 20,000, 15,000, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this like consistently over time, you get views and you'll get questions about them over and over again. Like literally somebody yesterday asked me about the Mikolo functional trainer that I had maybe 4 years ago.
Really?
And I still answer those questions though.
Yeah. No,
I'll say, hey, I don't have it anymore. I still answer you because that keeps the engagement going. You know what I mean?
I try. Yeah, that's definitely something, I didn't mention that. Like comments, man. I try to comment back on every single thing that I can. And a lot of people have great questions and I was that guy too. Like, if I was going to buy something, I'm in a basement, I'd be like, I got this much room to work with. Like, I can look at dimensions, but hey, does this really, fit this way, look this way? Do you actually have enough clearance? There's a lot of questions and I think that's what's so great about this community too, is just people ask really intelligible questions. Like I had somebody, actually, it's funny you say that. I had somebody, I have a Rhino belt squat video from a while back, probably like one of my first 5 videos. And the guy's like, hey, I'm trying to buy, this cable attachment. It's this long. How much cable is there coming off the front? And then I kind of go through it and just say, hey, just simple things like that. And again, that's going to boost that engagement. And I do try to do that.
Yeah, I mean, and not enough people, I think, who are content creators will answer the questions. And then once the videos gets to a certain age, people stop answering the questions, right?
Yeah.
Now some of those people have more subscribers than me.
Right.
But I'm still in the thing where I still answer you. I mean, even if what you said doesn't deserve more than an emoji, you're gonna at least get the emoji.
Get something, right?
You're gonna get something.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna ignore you. We are talking to Anthony Gutierrez from the Bar Gym Reviews. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Bar Gym Reviews on YouTube. I'm not sure why I put 2 ats on there. It's not like it's like a Star Wars thing. We're gonna fix that right now. Yeah. It's not an at. There we go. All right. Boom. I just showed my nerd side at the Bar Gym Reviews on YouTube. Make sure you guys subscribe to him, help him grow. He's got one of the most exciting, coolest YouTube home gym content channels out there. Really fresh content. One of the best camera people on the planet. Emily.
Absolutely. Best videographer out there.
There you go. There you go. Doesn't have a team like me, but he's
no, not a full production yet.
All right. So now Carp wants to know, you said he gives a lot of advice, and Carp says MWPIG says 5% at Prime Fitness, but his advice can save you 50% at Home Gym Con. If you come alone, it's half price. So there's a lot of math right there. All right. Yeah. I don't expect you to keep up with that.
Not a math teacher. Not a math teacher. Don't forget.
I'm just telling you, just MWPIG 5, and you're gonna save 5% at Prime Fitness. Just do that, okay? So just do that.
Always.
Carp said a few evergreen videos are great. YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world behind Google because it's owned by Google. And just because a video takes off slow doesn't mean it won't catch up speed later. And I remember that's when the SEO thing took off, and that's probably what led to this whole Chat GPT thing, because people started realizing that you could title your video in such a way that it would show up as a search result, even if somebody wasn't on YouTube. So if you're just Googling something, you want to do it so your video pops up as the answer to their question. Now, because so much of YouTube search is governed by AI, I don't know if you are seeing that already, but you can be like scrolling and it'll ask you if you want AI to help you search.
Yep.
Well, that means that you need to title your videos, or at least your video description, with the help of AI to a certain extent, because AI thinks like AI. You don't think like AI. And the idea is to make your video searchable to people who are searching.
Yeah, and I've definitely leaned on Chat GPT for that kind of stuff, because I'm like, I like this. I'm not the most creative person, sometimes when it comes to that kind of stuff. And that's one of those things where I'm like, let AI talk to AI. Like you said, it only AI knows what it really wants to think, and so we'll just let them talk to each other.
And then also too, the more that you use it, the more intelligent it becomes. Because like when you first try using it, it's gonna spit out some gibberish. You're like, what is this?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. And then I have to put the filters in, and but it's like anything else, you practice, right?
Yeah.
And I hated it. Go ahead.
No, I said, you just got to play with it and see, what, get it to narrow itself down to what you're looking for. So, and that's definitely kind of like, just play with it and plug some things in and change the filters and the settings. And, I feel like it's worked a lot better for me the more I've used it.
And, I hated it because I'm a writer. Originally, I'm a wordsmith, right? And so I don't like having other people write for me. I don't even like it when somebody rewrites something, like when I was writing for the newspaper or when I wrote my book, my editor would change stuff. It just drives you high into the right. But in this situation, I try not to look at it like that. Instead, I'm giving it guidelines. It's not writing for me. I'll give it the basic thing I wanted to say, and then I might let it rewrite it a little bit, because like you said, AI needs to talk to AI.
And I think it's important too to not get lost in, like, when I use it as well, like you said, you give it what you want it to say, and then you got to constantly kind of talk back with it of what you're looking for. So it's still you, right? It's still like your language, your vocabulary, stuff like that.
Mike says train the AI. Exactly. Like you got to adapt. Home Gym Gains. Kevin says, I'm still unsure how to play around with the YouTube title game. There's a line between hook and just plain lying on the title, but you need that click. But when you upload your video, and by the way, here's a little thing I used to do, is like, it used to, I don't know if it still does it, but it used to matter if your original video that you uploaded had the same title as what your video is titled, right? Because like when you upload a YouTube Studio, you look to the right hand side, it shows like the video that's been uploaded. You want that to match with what the title of the video is, right? In some way. So what I would do is I would put in like the create thing and see what it like told me to change the title to, and then I would change the raw video title to that. Because then it also helps me, because I keep a file of backups in case something ever goes wrong and I have to re-upload something. Well, I want to know what the video was titled, so then I can just upload it and it's got all the same data and everything else, right? I don't know if that still matters or not, but that's another thing that I do. But yeah, Kevin, a lot of this stuff is free. It's difficult to use if you're doing YouTube on your phone only. So you kind of,
my editing is on my phone, by the way. It's not fun.
Everything.
Not fun.
Oh wow.
Oh
YouTube Studio is so rough for like putting tags and stuff in.
Yeah, I had a laptop. I had a laptop right when I was starting this, and it kind of crapped out on me. And it's just one of those things where I'm like, man, if I'm gonna do something where I'm doing some video editing, I know I want something with a little bit of horsepower. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things that's coming up. It's coming up. Okay. One day, I'll be a big monetized channel, and maybe that just helps me. But I don't think we're anywhere close to that yet. But it's coming down the pipeline. Right now, it's like this, man. Like scrolling, dragging, and so it's a process. Definitely a process.
There are different ways to get, like my first probably 3 laptops were definitely not prepared. They're not ready for
not ready for it.
But it was good. Like even if I uploaded with my phone, I still go back and I do the editing, not the editing, but I'm talking about like editing the description and that kind of stuff. I do that on YouTube Studio on a computer.
Yeah,
because it's easier.
I didn't open YouTube Studio on a desktop until probably a month ago, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is like
you're like, what is this?
I'm like, oh my god. And it was, it was one of those things where I'm using somebody else's laptop, so I don't even have it. So I was like, oh my god, this is awesome.
Yeah, there's so much stuff. I mean,
man,
okay, I'll tell you a hack. There's a hack. You can go to use your browser on your phone. It will ask you if you want to go to the app. Just say no.
Just say no. Okay.
Just use YouTube Studio on the web on your phone if you have to. But that's just a little tip. And in fact, I'll ask Mark. I see Mark backstage. I'll ask Mark when he comes on, see if what's up, man? See if he's got any ideas as far as that too from his experience. But I'm telling you, man, your world changes when you see all the things you can do with YouTube on a desktop.
I'm almost upset I looked now though, because now I'm like, oh, I know what's out there and I ain't using it, so I'll have to play with it on browser though and see.
I'm telling you. And Kinsey said I edit everything on my phone too. I know Carp said he's an iPhone warrior. And Ashley, what's up, 332? Ashley said, Kinsey, when he said that, I immediately thought of you. I'm telling you, you guys are missing out. Even if you have a tablet, so that would be one of the hacks. Get a tablet, because a tablet.
Sure, I do have a tablet.
Just get a tablet and just go on YouTube, but don't go on the YouTube app.
Browser.
Use your web browser on your tablet, and you'll see a bunch of stuff. In fact, I would do that because you can see more than if you use your web browser on your phone, unless you have one of those giant phones that looks like a briefcase. And Kevin said that's refreshing to know, Anthony, because a lot of times people look for the best gear before starting, or they're still putting off making a channel because they only have a phone. He says respect. I'm telling you, it's for real.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to make it work here. I even did 2 videos just to test it, because you see one of those. You're looking for engagement, and I need that retention rate, right? Retention rate's huge for your watch hours. Right now, I'm past 1,000 subs. I like making goals. I have the goal. I want to get monetized. I want to get to 3,000 and then 4,000 watch hours, all that good stuff. And one of the things that I'd seen some people say in the home gym stuff, and I kind of just noticed it in videos more and more, is like the 2-camera system, where you're just switching that angle slightly, as you're talking to the camera, because people don't click off because they're like, oh, there's movement, something's happening. So I did that for 2 videos. Nightmare to edit on a phone. absolute nightmare. So it's one of those things
So
where, like, I
I'm
don't know
gonna
if
tell
it's
you,
worth
don't
it.
do that to yourself.
Yeah, it was a nightmare. I
I'm
was like, I don't think I
gonna
can do
tell
that
you a
ever
hack.
again.
I'm gonna tell you a hack.
All
Okay,
right, I'm here for it.
Emily, I hope you're listening. Emily, the thing that happens when you're filming, especially if you're holding your phone like this, right?
Mhm.
First of all, you need to get some sort of like a selfie stick or something, so it's easier to hold. Because I don't know if you shoot guns, but like if you're shooting a rifle, it's easier if you support the weight on your body
Yeah,
than if you
yeah.
do some junk like that, right? Okay,
Right.
so you want to do the same thing with a camera, support it on your body, right? So your arms become your gimbal. Okay,
I got you. Yeah,
I'm sorry, your arms become your dolly.
yeah, I got you.
So what you do is, you're holding it like this, and we always try to like hold it steady and try
Yeah.
not to move. Don't do that. Instead, move around to different angles because
Okay.
you're actually organically creating different angles in a
Yeah.
natural way that people wouldn't necessarily whereas if you set up two static cameras, now you're trying to switch the thing or whatever. No, just
Yeah.
move
Man.
around.
Line up the audio, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Man.
Now I know how to do that, but it's easier to do that on a desktop.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna have
So
to
to
give her
me-
a pay raise if she's moving now too, though. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta see if
that's a
that's
good
in the
point.
budget.
Hey, look, double nothing, I promise, is still nothing. It's just a bigger zero.
Yeah.
All right. JB says I gotta use Mac Mini because it's a little cheaper. It's not mobile, but it does get the job done. So that's another thing too you could do. What subject do you teach?
English, 8th grade English.
8th grade English. All right.
Yep.
So what I would say is, first of all, shout out to the English teachers. I was an English major.
There you go.
What I say is like you get a thing where you can basically finagle. You know how teachers are always like buying stuff and they're using it, and then you write it off because you're using it.
Yeah.
So get a laptop and you're teaching writing with AI, right?
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
And now, as an example, we're going to use an example, a YouTube channel, and there you go. Now
there we go. There's a segue. I like it.
Boom! I'm trying to help you, man. All right. Let's see here. And Carp said he didn't have any end screens for 2 years because he didn't know how to put them on there because he's using his phone.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing either. And then somebody said like you could add end screens, and I'm like, I don't know how to do that. And I was like, and then somebody's like, well, you can't do it until you're fully monetized. So I was like, okay, cool. And I just never worried about it ever again. And then somebody told me that that's not true. So I'm like, that's probably because I'm on mobile.
Yeah, probably.
That's what it is.
The world's gonna open when you start going into YouTube Studio on a desktop. So Emily says she likes that idea. I'm telling you, and then you also, I mean, you can get creative, right? So, I'll show you this is something simple right here, right? So you always want to hold your phone like this, but think about it like the most successful filmmakers don't do that. They'll do like a Dutch angle.
Yeah.
You ever like watch a movie, you see like the movie's like at an angle, like you do a Dutch angle. You can do that with your phone. So easy. All you gotta do is just do it like that.
Yep. Okay.
You switch between that and I mean, there's all kinds of stuff you could do.
Play with it for sure.
And then I'll tell you this: if you want to spend money, get an Osmo, DJI Osmo Pocket 3. That's about $1,000, and it's 100% worth it.
All right.
I'll just tell you what it is. Look, JB says, what is this you're talking about? This end screen busy. I don't even know what an end screen is. You guys give me a lot of stuff to research. So that's the first thing I gotta say. If you are a brand and you're watching this, and we do have brands who are watching from LinkedIn. If you're brand and you're watching this, if you are willing to work with the creator and help them get better at filming, you'll be able to got people who are willing to make content for you, probably less expensively, but also they'll be loyal, and they'll stay with you because you're like, hey, well, you can try this or you can try that, whatever. And then sometimes brands will give you media assets that you can just use. Like let's say you got to make a thumbnail. Mikola will help you with making a thumbnail, for example. All right. They say just ask us and we're happy to do it. So that's something else that you can do too. Believe it or not, we're actually making our way through the questions. We're on time. Let's see here. I want to talk about Collabster because you're on the Collabster platform, And I really love how you laid out your profile. A lot of people here don't know what Collabster is. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pull this up right here. Anybody wants to check out Anthony on Collabster, this is what it'll look like when you go there. I'll put the link to it in the video description for you. But this is what your profile looks like on Collabster, right? And this is what a brand sees when they go to Collabster. This is not what another content creator would see, okay?
Right.
So this is what they see. And I like how you've got it laid out. Shows like who you are, shows like some sample thumbnails from videos. And you got like your intro, shows like the size of your channel. You've got 183 followers on the Collabster platform, looks like.
Yep. I think so. I don't know. I don't honestly
well, I'm
know.
saying like what that is right there.
With it. Yeah. It's either that or I don't know if that's that or
and then that's your YouTube right there.
Yep.
So the reason why I said I like how you laid it out is because you put down, you've got packages. He's like, okay, if you want me to do a UGC testimonial or a review, be 15 minutes long, it's going to cost you $100. And then you talk about what you did. So first question to you is, how satisfied are you with the results from this platform? Is it doing anything for you?
So I'll be honest with you. I've had a lot of companies reach out, probably in the, honestly, like 15-ish, 20, which I'm trying to even remember when I did Collabster. That's probably in June, maybe July.
Right. Keep in mind, the channel's less than a year old. Okay.
Yes,
so so I'm saying that's a lot. People are reaching out to you already.
Now,
so go ahead.
I like the platform itself. Like, I think it makes it really easy to communicate, especially as like a smaller content creator. I don't have a big production crew like you. I'm on the no fates, single phone situation that he claims.
Right.
But I'm satisfied with it.
He's definitely got more than that.
Oh, I'm sure he does. I'm pretty satisfied with the platform itself. Now for me, I'm kind of picky, and you have to be, because I'm not going to name any company names or anything like that. I've had plenty of companies that have reached out and said like, hey, I'll be honest with you right now, just totally honest with the audience. I've made $0 off Collabster, zero, zilch, nothing. I've had a lot of companies reach out though. And some of them, and I'll be honest, some of them they're going to kind of get pushy of like, here's the script, this is what you have to say. And I can't do that. I had a company reach out to me that was like a herbal energy gummy kind of company. And I basically just said like, if I'm going to do they want me to do like a 15 to 30 second ad read in one of my videos. And I was like, okay, that seems simple enough. Right. And then it turned into like, we would like you to do 30 seconds. This is what I want you to say. And I said, well, is there any way I can get a 30-day sample and just like try it for 30 days? Like, cause I want to, like, if it sucks, like, I don't want to put my name on that. You know what I mean? So
it tastes like gasoline, but it works.
And they just immediately were like, well, we'll just go another way. And I just, so there's been a lot of deals that have kind of fallen through, and it's probably my fault as far as like being picky. But I've had companies just reach out to me directly in my email that I've worked with. I've worked with, Fed Fitness now, but it was Yasuda before. Bells of Steel. Talked with Rep a few times about a few things. It's just, things are coming in. The Collabster I like because I think it's great for small content creators. There's just some things that I can't do because I don't. I have to try it, right? I have to know it's a good product. I've also had products. I have a lot of companies that reach out that are more like, I don't think they know what I do enough. I don't know how to explain it, but like one of them was.
I know what you mean. They start out with, I love your channel. I love your video. I love your channel and you're great. And I love your videos. Then they ask you to do videos about something you've never done before. That has
like one was like on like THC gummies, and I'm like, nah, man. Like, do you watch what I'm doing? Like, we're a little off of what I do. You know what I mean? So, I would like to talk with some. I mean, I know you talked before I got on, so a lot of supplementation stuff. I have a protocol and everything too. I love those things. I like to, kind of omit some things and see if that changes the way I feel or think or whatever, my energy and stuff like that. And if there's a great product that helps me, I would love to review it, and I would love to, and even if it's not, a dedicated video, maybe it's a short or Instagram post. I think the Collabs is great for that kind of stuff. Just so far, I've had a lot of companies reach out. I'm just picky. I'm just picky, I guess.
Well, okay. So, and I think this, now that I'm not under the influence of medication or fighting COVID-19, I can unpack a little bit what I said last week, which is, it's not that I have a problem with video reviews, but I feel like you can't, it's not going to pay your bills, any of your bills. Okay.
Nah.
So, because you make, maybe $10. You work really hard on the video, get as much watch time as possible, promote it, and then if you made $10, you did well. Okay. So what you have to do is, in terms of like UGC, is I still would do it with something that I really believe in. So it's got to be a product I actually like, that I think actually is a good product. But if I do believe that, every video I make about that product doesn't have to be a pros and cons review. Right? Because I already did a review and told you, well, this is the good, this is the bad. Well, then if I make another video about it, it doesn't have to be another pros and cons review. I can just tell you the good stuff. Yeah. Right? Yeah, I agree. Okay. And then I can make that 30 seconds long. Well, that's basically an ad, and you can sell that as UGC means user-generated content. And I know you know what that is. Yeah. But I'm saying for people who are watching, you can sell that as UGC and tell them they can have it and put it on their social media, their whatever, and you work out whatever price you want to charge. Yeah. And in fact, there is an entire cottage industry on Fiverr. That's right, Fiverr, Fiverr, where you can send a product to a person and they'll say something like, okay, I've got a nondescript plain background, or I'll use a green screen. You send me your product and I will do videos on this product wearing a plain shirt that's just, let's say, the black shirt that's got no logos on it. And I'll do a product explainer video or product demo video. That's where some of these videos come from. Yeah. Right? Some of these videos of these little people bench pressing 115 pounds using a bumper plate so it looks like it's actual weight. All right, some of those people are on Fiverr. And they're just like, you just send it to me, I'll do it, you pay me, and then we're done, right? Yeah. So I am a fan of doing that sort of thing, especially if it's something that you already are a fan of. But the thing is that people think that if you're a content creator, every video has to be your version of Consumer Reports, where I'm going in and I'm getting the answers that they don't want to give you. Whatever, relax. Okay. I don't watch a McDonald's commercial and say, hey, were you compensated for that video? How do I know that quarter pounder really tastes good? Come on, man. Stop it. And in fact, if you guys are watching my vlog coming out Monday, I point out I'm holding a quarter pound plate from Micro Gains. I looked at it, it never occurred to me, but I was looking at it, I was like, this is smaller than a quarter pounder. How is this in a quarter pounder burger? How is this the same thing? So that's the kind of deep thoughts you get when you get my vlog. But anyway, my point is that there's got to be, you don't have to, as Kurt says, don't be a shill, but you can still, you have to kind of say there, like the kids say, there's levels to this. There's levels to what sort of content you're creating. And you may not want to put it on your channel, because if you want your channel to be just reviews, maybe you say, okay, I'll do this for you, but you're going to put it on your own channel, on your own whatever, or on your website. So there's that.
And there's been a few things that I've applied and talked to them, and we had a good conversation. And it was one of those things where I've had those conversations of I'll do something where it's an ad for you, right? And they were like, we like what you do on your channel. Can we put it on your channel? And then it was one of those things. I had one that was I couldn't do this because of because of the job I have. I just couldn't do it to myself teaching middle schoolers, but it was a libido enhancer. And they wanted me to say, they wanted me to say that I had none.
Look sad. You look sad.
I can't do that to myself. I can't do it to myself. So, I think it's something that, for sure in the future, the user generated content is going to be a thing for me. And I'm willing to work with companies that are willing to work with me. And again, I like what Kurt from Kurt Locker said. You know, I am going to be picky. You know, at the end of the day, it's my product, and you know that I'm putting out there my platform, and I just want the product to match me, and what I'm trying to accomplish here. And at the end of the day, like, you know, I ain't doing this to be a millionaire. That's for sure.
I mean, okay, so for example, let's look at it like this, right? When I say something that doesn't necessarily have to go, like it just doesn't necessarily match with your channel. Believe it or not, I have reached out to companies and they didn't see, I'm not saying this will never happen, but I reached out to shaving companies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm obviously a candidate for your product, right? And I'm like, I'll do UGC for your product, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, because they look at your channel, they're like, oh, well, this is what you do though. I'm like, well, yeah, I do a show and I shave before every show.
Hey,
I can do an ad read there.
There's probably some beautiful bald people in the audience.
Yeah, it's like, okay, there are other people who watch who probably shave as well. But if I do the UGC, you can have it on your own thing and just mention that I'm a content creator. And then I'll do it like, you know what I mean? And so it's like, it's kind of like thinking outside the box is what I'm saying. It's like, well, what happens? Like for like the thing I'm thinking with you is Simple Green. And the reason why I say that is because I watched your video where you're talking about one of your gym maintenance habits.
I love
it was a Simple Green commercial.
Yeah.
All right.
No taken. Write it down.
So let's see here. I'm gonna say this from Mike says, screw them bald head cats. He as one of them. Okay, last comment, and then we're gonna move to the final part of final segment with you. So Kurt says, better to grow slow and stay true to your standards than to sell out or just act a certain way that isn't authentic. He said, but I have a 10-year-old channel with only 9,000 subs, so what do I know? I mean, I think it just goes back to, like, to me, Kurt should be doing UGC for beard products because he's got a beard. And before, when he was in the Air Force, and he had just a mustache, like, he had like a requirement for work to have a groomed mustache. I'm like, yes, I'm like, there's obvious synergy there, but you know, people don't see it. All right. Okay, here we go. So here's the thing. I do this with every content creator who comes on at some point, and I say, you've got 5 minutes to convince us to watch your worst performing video. I'm going to pull up the video link, and I'll start a timer, and you can tell us anything you want about it. So it's 7:55 right now. So when you're done, it'll be 8 a.m., and so we'll have time to, and then we'll be segueing off of you to bring Mark on at 8:05. All right. So you got 5 minutes to convince us to watch your worst performing video. So I'm going to go back to your channel. All right. We're going to pull up all your videos. All right. We're going to order them from oldest to newest. And you tell me which video it is. I'll pull that video up. And then once I pull it up, that's when your time starts. Okay. So which video is it?
It's got to be my workout split one. That's like
your workout
split. Probably like my third video, maybe.
Best workout split. Okay.
Probably. Yeah.
All right. I see it. All right. Here we go. All right. The bar gym reviews were best. Now, we're not going to have sound on. It's just going to be you going through, but you're going to just convince us to watch it. So here it is right there. All right. Why should we watch this?
First of all, I have the best videographer in the game, right? She does a phenomenal job. Okay, so we're going to start there. Number one, you saw that transition, the split transition.
I saw that.
That's magic. It's money. Okay. Now, some things I want you to ignore or not think about maybe as you observe the video. Number one, matter of fact, it looks like I'm a bodybuilder. I know it looks like I'm a bodybuilder. It looks like I'm on a lot of things. Okay. So ignore the physique and just realize that, you know, I talk about the workout split, but if you use it, you're going to look even better than me, even better than me. Right. Okay. Also, I want you to make sure you pay attention to, if you're a wrestling fan, real wrestling, not WWE, no offense to WWE people,
folk style,
the real sport of wrestling, folk style wrestling. That's the real wrestling out there. Or if you're real freestyle too. But if you want to support wrestling and the wrestling community, also make sure you look at the wrestling shirt I'm wearing there. Represent my school that I coach as well. Workout splits though. Listen, I want to do more workout stuff on the channel. and I will. I do a lot of shorts. If you want to get swole and you got 6 days a week, which I know sounds crazy, but you got 6 days a week to work out, this is the split for you. Okay. So if you look, awesome penmanship marker, not me, my wife, videographer, right? She's also my scribe. Okay.
Okay.
So if you want to see great handwriting, this is the video for you too. Okay. This is the video for you.
Whiteboard is legit. Okay.
Whiteboard is legit. By the way, side segue. Okay. I'm trying to just get as many people from different communities in here, right? If you're a mathematician, my wife used to do like one math problem on that board. One problem. So if you're not a math person, then I guess you can't be in there. Also, make sure you look top right corner currently. I know I live in the great state of Ohio, but if you're a Michigan man, you should make sure you like, subscribe, and watch the video as well.
Wolverines,
Go blue, go blue. I always see your Commanders up there in your screen, so we'll see how they do this year. I got Jane Daniels in fantasy, by the way.
You see that right there? You see that right there?
Oh yeah. They got a good team too. They're pretty good too. They're the new Alabama, I guess. They look
with
pretty good.
With a better Alabama.
The better Alabama. Okay.
Dogs. That's right.
So so if you want to get jacked, okay, pretty simple. Obviously, we start with chest day. You got to get your chest in, get your chest work in. Okay. But there's also 2 leg days. I know, 2 leg days. But we got quad focus, hamstring focus. Like true bodybuilder side. It's almost like a bro split, to be honest. And of course, I didn't have to put an arm day in there, but we did. But we did, right? We did. Kind of like what is it? Curltember? No, what is it? Curltember? Curltember. Yeah. So Curltember, I'm gonna change the workout split. Maybe I'll update that. It's gonna be 6 days a week, curls, and then the 7th day is not a day of rest, but a day of triceps, and then some more curls. So watch the videos. I think it's 8 o'clock. At least mine says 8 o'clock. That's probably the worst one you've had on your channel. Try to convince, but we try to get every community in there.
All right. So as you can see, I'm copying that, and let's stop sharing. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm posting this in the chat. I'm going to put it in the video description for those of you watching on replay. Shout out to Replay Gang. So you guys can all go support the University of Michigan and Anthony, and go check out this video. Learn why his hat is backwards, and all about his wrestling shirt for actual wrestling. Potentially you will come away. You won't know how to do a gator roll, but you'll know that he does. And then you also know how to get strong enough to do a gator roll if the opportunity to do a gator roll presents itself to you because of this bro split. All right. So well done. Well done.
Appreciate it. It was a pleasure being on here.
What do you have coming up next, and how can people follow everything you got going on at the Bar Gym Reviews?
All right, so one of the things we got to grow, okay, and I know JB does a great job, great JB TV, Instagram, man, we got to start following me on Instagram at the Bar Gym Reviews. Content that's coming up, obviously I'm going to get my wisdom teeth ripped out of my face here in like 2 more hours. So it's going to be a little bit slow, but we got a 30-day review of the Yasuda Elliptical by Fed Fitness, which honestly I think is a great product if you're looking for it for some low impact cardio. And then after that, I think we're going to start working on some gym tours. I have on my YouTube community page. I'm going to put it up again probably this weekend. I want to do some virtual tours. Like I want to see your guys' setups. That's how it all started for me, right? Was just looking at gym tours. I think it's a great thing in the community. And I know this day and age, you can be anywhere at any point in time, digitally at least. So, if you want to share your home gym with me, like a short 30-second video, and I just, you can talk or you can be silent. And I just kind of want to talk through your setup and just see all the awesome setups that we have in this awesome community that's been built through YouTube and some other channels.
Awesome. Well, my man, thank you so much for being here, Anthony. This was a lot of fun. I know.
Yeah,
I see. Ashley says she just followed you, so there you go.
Appreciate it.
That's how you
we need more Instagram followers for sure.
There you go. All right, my man. Appreciate it, and we definitely gonna have you back on here, man. Thanks for taking the time. Getting up way too early with me. All right.
Appreciate it. All right. Have a good one.
Right, man. Later. All right, that was my guy Anthony Gutierrez from the Bar Gym Reviews. Shout out to the Mountain Time Zone. If you're watching on YouTube, please consider liking this video and subscribing to this channel. If you are already a subscriber, please consider joining this channel. It's only 99 cents a month, $12 a year. The link is in the video description, and the link is in the live chat. Literally, it's less than $12 a year, but you support the channel and help us keep doing what we do and improve the content that is on YouTube for those of us in the home gym community. Now, my next guest is my dude, Mark Tovar. Mark is a content creator over at Flex Marks the Spot, and not only has he created, I say he's my dude because not only is he a good dude, but he also has created content for my channel on YouTube. He was part of the series that I did called Home Gym Reviewers Say, because I noticed that we use a lot of terms that regular people don't ever use. I said, hey, you know what? We need to do a video series talking about this stuff and what it actually means. And Mark was good enough to do a video submission there. We actually only met, I think, at Home Gym Con, the second Home Gym Con. But I think highly of him. And so I've been trying to get him on the show for a while, and I'm super, super excited that Mark was able to carve out some time to come on here today. So let's go ahead and bring him on here. Everybody show your love to my guy, Mark. Look at him coming on here with his game face on. He's like, hey, what's up? Like, look at
I'm just waiting for the caffeine to kick in, man. It's I'm in the mountain time zone, so.
Oh, dude, I understand.
Yeah.
So, dude, I know, man, and like I've been trying to get you on the show for a long time, and I know a lot of it was because of like it's 6 a.m. for you right now. So that's so you've actually been backstage since 5:30. So shout out to you. Now I feel your pain if that makes you feel better, because I typically get up to get. Because of how StreamYard works, and you know this because you do podcasts and stuff. I can't upload everything and set everything up in the studio the night before. I tried, and it will delete it once you leave the studio. So some things can only be done day of. So if you've got a show that starts at 6, that means I wake up no later than 4 a.m. every Friday to do the show. No later than, and then I'm up, obviously throughout the show, and then whatever. And I typically have breakfast after the show too. So there's that. But so I feel your pain. That was all this to say. I feel your pain, and I appreciate you being here. Before we get into the meat of why I originally asked you to come on the show, I told you I've been trying to get you on here for a minute. So I got some questions built up. So first question, you don't seem to do videos on a schedule. It looks like a project has to be interesting to you. And if it's not, you're like, hey, I'll just let it go by the wayside, and I'm okay with that. So what are your criteria for whether you'll commit to a video project? Like what does it have to, what are some things it has to have for you to say, you know what, this is worth my time?
Yeah, no, it's basically exactly that. Just it has to be something that really catches my interest. And even then, I'm going to be honest, I don't really even consider myself a content creator. I feel like I'm just a guy who has my home gym, and I happen to, document my thoughts on the equipment I'm using. And because of that, I don't really have a set schedule. It's just like whenever something comes to me, then yeah, I'll put out a video. Or primarily, it's more like I'm kind of shooting from the hip with a lot of my content. It's more on Instagram these days, where it'll just be a quick story post, while I'm using something, I'll take a quick video of it, or a big text post, and it'll be really wordy, so that's one thing that people who follow me might know about my stuff is I try to pack up as much information in a small digestible like slide as possible. So that's kind of more or less kind of what I do with more of my stuff now. And again, like if it's something that I think might require a little bit more attention, then it'll be potentially a video. And as you mentioned on my channel, it's been a while since I've had one out there. I don't really have any interest in making videos specifically, so that's why I don't really do that too often.
So okay, because you don't do like a ton of like brand deal stuff, but you do have, and I'm actually gonna pull up your Instagram because you've got like a number of really, and I mean really interesting posts on Instagram where I'm like, like, how did you even find this? Like, where did this even come from? You know, for you to see this thing. Like, I'm looking for there it is. That's the one. All right, we're not. I like to show people, not tell them. All right, because that's what they told me in school. Show, don't tell. Okay. I never in my life imagined I would see a man doing shoulder presses on a transformer.
Right.
But Mark somehow or other discovered this. He said on Red Note.
Yep.
Okay, but you have to your mind has to think a certain way to be on Red Note to see this to then post it, right? And I'm like, what in the world? Like, what happens in Mark's world for your brain to even start encountering stuff like that?
Yeah. So, I mean, I admittedly do a lot of doom scrolling, you know.
Okay.
So it's, you know, anything that happens to catch my interest and that I find myself that I think is cool or find myself, you know, really thinking about, you know, that's like in this case, I was like, wow, I've never seen anything like this. And, you know, searched around on it on Instagram, YouTube, didn't see anything there. And for those who aren't aware, Red Note is like it's like the China version of TikTok, I guess, the China exclusive version, the one that's probably going to get banned at some point, to be honest. But that's another conversation. But yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff there, and it's a lot different from what you see on Instagram, right? It feels like everyone's kind of doing more or less the same thing there, same thing on YouTube. So it's just kind of I like to see a different perspective on, you know, the industry over there. So that's where I got that from. And that's, you know, kind of anything pops out to me there, then I'll happen to.
This is another one. I saw it. I was like, what in the world is going on here? I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And you know, so that the green one obviously is the one that got my attention, right?
Right.
And I'm like, you know, for, well, not just obvious reasons, like the Freak Athlete just did a collaboration with, or we just saw the results of the collaboration with Exponent Edge with the ABX bench. But we've seen a lot of benches that are doing like the trifold thing. ATX has the one where you just take the headrest off completely, and it's a what you call it, I just see that benches are changed. Before, for a long time, Iron Master was the only one that had a bench that was kind of like modular like that. And now you're starting to see more and more benches just try to do more things like that. So I do think that would get my attention too. But I had never heard of Red Note until I saw it in your Instagram. I was like, what is that? Right. So yeah, exactly, Carlos. It's Bumblebee lifting, and only Mark has a video of Bumblebee lifting, as far as I know, here in the United States. I think that's cool. So what's the next thing is, what's the status of the things in the works projects that you have on your website? And for those who don't know what that is, you've got, let's go to flexmarksthespot.com. And you've got let's see here, things in the works section. And there we go. So what's the status of this stuff here? You got the magnetic sled comparison. I guess you can probably slide in there the oversized turf tires for the Concept 2 rower that you just posted about. Your safety squat bar comparison. Now, you did do one with the Titan SSBs, I think. But do you have plans for expanding it to this with the SS yoke bar, the rep, you know, this comparison there? You got the belt squat comparison, and then you had the Vulcan Flex kilo plates video. All these are in the works. Are they still in the works, or are they kind of just like, I'll get to them when I get to them?
Yeah, a little bit of both. They're mostly still in the works in the way that I've done all the testing I need to do. You know, I have my notes. You know, I have pages and pages of notes in my notes app on my phone. I haven't quite moved those over to a Word document and kind of organize them into an outline. Then after which, you know, it's filming a review and, you know, just doing the whole like production side of things, right? Like the thing that I enjoy, like probably most everyone here, is actually using the equipment. I don't really care too much for the content creation side. So that's kind of why I don't really, haven't really had a lot of urgency on making those videos, right? So the magnetic sled comparison, I have the Torque Tank M4, the Torque Tank M1, and the Zebex XT3 slash XT4. So two of these marketplace steals. I had no intention of ever having 3 magnetic sleds. That kind of happened on accident,
You're just collecting magnetic sleds.
Yeah, and it's not been fun to store those. I actually have.
Why don't you just sell them?
I have to put the video out first, man. That's the thing that's holding me up.
I got you.
And
okay.
What's making it a little easier is my buddy owns a gym too, so
that's true. Yeah.
So a lot of the equipment that I can't store, or I just run out of room for, he's cool storing it there as long as he gets to use it. And I'm like, yeah, man, that's what it's here for. So kind of have a little extra little storage space there that I get to use. So some of the sleds are over there. I have my yoke over there, and things like that. But anyway, that being said, the magnetic sled thing, I just have to put the thoughts on paper and actually film it. What kind of another thing that I kind of used to justify the delay there was Home Gym Con with the new Torque XT3, I think is what it's called. So I was like, I kind of wanted to get my hands on that a little bit too, and see how that compared to the Torque Tank X3, I think is what or M3.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wanted to see how that compared to some of the other ones. So got a little bit of hands on there. Obviously not enough to fully test it, but just wanted to have some thoughts there. The safety squat bar comparison, that one's been years in the making, and not by design. I just kind of accidentally started collecting safety squat bars. It's I had one, and then you see the super specialized ones like the Mars bar and the Transformer bar, and eventually kind of had those in there. And before I knew it, I was like, okay, well, have people asking me questions on, it's like, well, what's the difference between all of these, and do you know what the difference is like between like the Titan one was kind of my first one actually. It's like, do you know what the difference is between like Titan and reps? So, and at that point, I just kind of started adding a few
kind of snowball.
And kind of got to the point where I mentally committed to doing a review, but I hadn't, I guess verbally committed to it yet. And but kind of got to the point where I had some footage out, testing them, and now I just have to, again, same thing, do the big comparison there. And I have a couple more I might want to add in there, but the thing with me is I don't want to just do a couple of reps, with a bar, and then, switch to another bar and kind of, you like say, oh yeah, this is how this one feels here. I want to do like a whole training block with a bar, and kind of compare and contrast it that way, and kind of see what it feels like, under different loads, like max effort type loads versus, like when you're just warming up, and, things like that. And so that's kind of what
that's like makes it such a long involved project though,
is.
Because then it's like, but given that though, you've had these bars for a while, so it's like, well, is it the
some of
process?
them, some of them for a while, some of them, not as long, and they're not as fun to use, so it's a little bit of a struggle having to implement them into my training. But so again, that one I basically have I actually have the outline for that one. It's just trying to figure out how to film it, and how to kind of make it so that it's not just a boring review to watch. Like I did a multi-grip cambered bar comparison video, and that was the worst thing in the world. I think that's actually kind of what burnt me out for making YouTube videos, just because it was such a pain to film it. I had like hours and hours of me trying to talk in front of a camera to explain, the bars, and tons of B-roll that I had to go through. And I think it took me just a week of just filming straight, like every single day. It was and the safety squat bar video, there's quite a bit more bars there, so that's kind of just putting that one off. And again, just having to put it out there. The belt squat video. So this is the Rhino versus the Squat Max. There's been a couple of them out there. I know Home Gym Hacks and Reviews has one. And I'm not sure who else. I think No Way Jose has one also. So I'm just trying to figure out how to differentiate mine. But then I also wanted to add in like a lever belt squat into the mix, and I didn't want to buy one. So yeah, so I've been kind of waiting on one, or I don't want to buy an expensive one. So I've been waiting for one to pop up on Marketplace at a decent price. But
so let me ask you a question. Let me stop you right there. As far as the belt squat one goes, couldn't you just do that at Home Gym Con?
Yeah, probably. I probably could have.
I think Kinsey did the one where she's like, I tried every leg extension, leg curl. A few people did like something on this variation on this team. It was like, just say, okay, I tried every one. I was at Home Gym Con, and then boom, boom, boom. There you go.
Right. Yeah. Probably could have done like a first impressions type thing. But again, like I like to like really have the equipment to myself and, take it through a training block and, just really be able to use it like in actual workouts.
No. What I mean is like, I tried every belt squat at Home Gym Con. Did it make me want to replace the one I have at home?
Oh,
like
maybe. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like compare them to what you already own. And then as you're going through, you're like explaining like, so the one I have at home, I'm using this one here. Well, the one I have at home, it actually does this and this and this. I've been noticing a problem with this and this and this. Let's go check out this other one over at this booth, see if it fixes the problem or whatever.
Yeah, but that would also require me having some foresight, which I don't have. It's
I got you.
I'm just kind of I'll take things how they go, play it by ear, and
I got you.
And that's how it's been at Home Gym Con for me all 3 years. I have like a vague idea. I'm like, okay, maybe this would be cool to do, but once you're kind of there, it's
I got you.
All bets are off. I'm just like a kid in a candy shop.
Now you sound like Jason when he was like, he's like, these people came with a plan. They have a plan.
Yeah, I mean,
I was watching y'all's episode. It's hilarious.
Concepts of a plan.
That's funny. Kurt says, Mark is someone who, when I meet, I always find his face difficult to read. Like, do you want me to say hi or just leave you alone? Do you get that a lot?
Yeah, actually, I'm super introverted and really socially awkward. So.
Okay.
I mean, I love when people, come and say hi, I just, am exactly that, socially awkward. So,
gotcha.
So yeah.
I got you. That makes sense where you're like, you say, okay, we said hi. Now what should we do? And how do we get out of this conversation without offending anybody? But let's just break it off. I get that. JB says, now knowing the time and work you put into your videos, next upload you do, I'll share it to my small audience because this is good stuff.
All right, appreciate it. Appreciate it, JB. And it was nice meeting you at Home Gym Con.
All right. So let's get to the main topic of today's conversation. We watched Isaac. You were in the audience. I made sure that you knew who was coming on because I value the relationship. Well, I value the relationships I've built in general, but I value the relationship such as it is that I built with you. And that was even why I made sure to talk to you before I ever went any further with Iron Bull Strength. Because I was telling them, I actually said it when I was there. I said, well, I talked to Mark before I came downstairs. I said, I talked to him one more time to make sure it was all cool before I even came to talk to you guys, right? Because I was like, I want to make sure that this is kind of above board. But we watched Isaac from Iron Bull Strength a couple of weeks ago, and he laid out his case where he's basically defending himself because he felt like he was being accused of stealing the keyhole uprights design. So I don't want to go back over that because I remember you in the comments saying, I'm not accusing you of stealing anything. Okay. I'm not accusing you personally of stealing anything. And I remember you said put that in the comments. So that's why I'm like, we don't need to relitigate that. But I just want to get that out of the way so we don't muddy the water. So what you made the case for, and I don't know if this is the same thing as what other people have said on your behalf, because that's another thing. I want to make sure that we get how you actually feel about the situation, not what other people say on videos. And I'm not knocking them. I mean, I defend my friends all the time. But I want to get how you feel because it's my impression that you're making the case that Iron Bull's strength should have compensated you in some way, to be determined, for your contribution to the fact that they now have their specific keyhole design on the Frankenstein uprights. Is that an accurate way to state that?
Yeah, so I guess like the whole thing was that the whole collaboration kind of happened under false pretense. So they, like, it was, Frank and Joe Gray, they had been in contact about, coordinating in like an AMA, and just, also I think they were a sponsor of like the garage gym competition, something, so there was some pre-established relationship there. Joe is also, one of my closest friends in the industry as well. So, him and I were always, spitballing things. So this whole 4-way keyhole rack idea, it was something that I had mentioned to Joe, and, it wasn't just like I, just happened to, send him a DM. There was like a whole like business case, like, with the video, and like, and actually I was using a Rogue upright. So again, I'm not saying I invented that. So to all the talking heads out there who are saying you can't patent something that Rogue already did, I'm not saying, that I invented the keyhole, again, it was just,
you invented keys, Mark. I was there. No one was getting into doors before you. I'm just kidding.
Exactly. No, it was, it was just the application of it, and making it into a full blown rack, fully utilizing the 1-inch ecosystem, while also being able to, use the 5/8 inch, the 5/8 inch attachments. And from there, kind of had that out with Joe, because he approached me. He was like, "Hey man, I have this idea for a rack." And I was like, "Bro, like, actually, I think this would be way better." And it was something that I had even pitched to Rep before. I was like, "Hey, you guys should have this be your PR 6000." Like, you guys have an even higher level, more up-end rack, and you keep your 5,000, your 4,000 series, and this is just for the hardcore. And they weren't interested. That was years ago at this point too, as well. So so there's that. So I mentioned that to Joe, and then when he was talking with Frank or whatever, like their whole thing with Iron Bull was, yeah, we want to start working with the community. We want to collaborate with creators to bring products to life. And Joe, being the the good guy he is, he's like, "Oh, I have a buddy, I want to connect you guys." And he had this idea, and I mean, probably a bit premature of Joe, to be honest, like, but he's a good guy, he doesn't have a bad bone in his body, so I'm sure he assumes others are that way as well. So he pitched the idea, sent them my video and everything, and from there, Iron Bull was like, "Hey, yeah, like we love this. We'll be in contact with Mark, on collab, on further details on how to collab, and we'll make something happen." Lo and behold, next months go by, I haven't heard anything, and I'm asking, Joe, I'm like, "Hey, like, have you heard anything?" He hasn't heard anything, and next, like, Iron Bull is announcing their like the rack on their Instagram, so it's like, okay, well, what's going on there? We see it on the website, and they have my name on the website on top of that. So it's like, oh, well, okay, I haven't heard anything from them yet. So at that point, Joe's kind of like, he's kind of in a weird spot too. So, he's trying to force an introduction.
He wasn't the only one.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, exactly. So,
okay, look, at this point, it's at my house. Right? Because I mean, so I already had the PR2 rack. Then they sent me then they showed me that design at HFA in March. So in the video where I'm talking to Frank, he shows me this design on his phone. It's that. And people could see my face. I was like, oh, right? Then they sent me the uprights to my house. So the uprights were installed on the rack in place of the uprights I had before at this point. Because I think maybe one other person had gotten those uprights before, right? Before me. I don't remember. It may have been Jungle Gym Reviews, but I don't know for sure. I just know that one other person had gotten them. So by the time you got to this point, it's at my house.
Right.
Okay.
Which so I didn't know about that at that point yet. Which
yeah. So, but I want people who are watching this to know So there's a thing, and I said this the last time when we were talking about this with Isaac, and I was like, look, there are way too many people involved in this conversation for it to ever be productively worked out, and which is my hope, that it becomes productively worked out. So that begs the question, well, then why are you involved, right? Meaning me. And so the reason why I'm bringing it up is because, okay, I didn't just get the uprights. I made promises like, okay, I'm going to do this. You send it. Okay, I'm doing the videos, that kind of stuff, right? Which to me, no, I didn't sign a contract, but my word is my word.
Right.
So I've got their product in my house. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Well, I also can't put my name next to something that is unethical. Definitely not anything illegal. So that's why I'm saying I want people to like understand why I'm even involved at all.
And for the viewers as well, like just to add full transparency, yeah, John like reached out to me like way early on when he first found out about this, before any of this was even public, and asked if, you know, if I wanted him to talk to Iron Bull on my behalf. You know, he said he didn't feel comfortable promoting any of this, and you know, I was like, hey man, like you do you, like I don't want other people fighting my battles here. This is just between me and them, you know, like you have your relationship with them, and you know, I'm not trying to get in the way of anyone else, you know, and you know what they have going on. So, you know, I appreciated that you were up front, and you know, I don't have any hard feelings with you, Joe, or anyone else who, you know, is working with them. You know, it's like, that's your guys' thing, you know. I'm only giving, you know, my side of things, and the way they treated me. So yeah. So at that point,
continue.
Yeah. So at that point, you know, Joe had to force an introduction between, you know, Frank, their CEO, by the way, that for anyone who's not aware, and which is also interesting that these uprights, you know, when they suddenly appeared, they're called the Frankenstein uprights. So, you know, I don't know if that has any extra meaning there, but anyway, so yeah, so at that point, you know, like in the emails that you shared like last week, right? Like Frank is Frank is in there saying, yeah, your idea was excellent. It changed how we think about design. You know, we're looking forward to working together, you know, yada, yada, whatever it was. So in the email on their website, you know, like they're specifically saying that, yeah, this was, you know, special thanks to, you know, Flex Marks a Spot for that idea. And also, you know, for to the other creator as well. But like, you know, essentially they would have never had this idea or like gone through this route if, you know, they hadn't had it pitched to them by Joe, you know, who kind of had the whole business case already, you know, that I had already pitched to other companies as well. Well, I guess primarily Rep. I after they weren't interested, I didn't really go too much more. But anyway, so, you know, from there, you know, like, you know, they're like, hey, yeah, we want to get you set up with a rack, you know, and then, you know, we'll you know, go work on a collab, you know, kind of whatever, and kind of see how things go there. And from there, you know, like once I kind of gave them my address, my shipping details, you know, I'm like, okay, so like what does a collab look like here, you know, like, I listed out a few things. I was like, I don't know, like what you guys had in mind. Was it like a licensing? Was it a discount code? Like I specifically listed out a few things. I was like, I'm happy to hop on a call to, you know, kind of discuss what this would mean, like what this would mean, and kind of what you guys were envisioning on your end. And at that point, that's where things got weird. So again, I don't know if this was like them like seeing, you know, that the fact that I mentioned licensing, you know, but like, again, I was just kind of like same thing I do with my content, you know, I'm just kind of shooting from the hip, you know, I'm just kind of, you know, I didn't even really think about it, you know, but again, like I was not demanding, you know, royalties or anything like that. That's crazy. Like, I mean, I'll put out the unredacted email thread out there for like if you know we need to.
No, don't do that. Yeah. Don't do that. Don't do that. So the reason why I say don't do that is because I have the unredacted emails. The reason why Isaac redacted them is to remove people's email addresses.
Well, yeah, I guess obviously without contact information and
that's all he
and my home address, which is also
I'm like, hey, don't do that because we don't want a repeat of and specifically. Okay, I'll just say specifically, we don't want a repeat of what happened with the bridge build thing.
Right. Well, and I mean, in this case, it would be me who's getting doxxed because it's my address in there. But anyway, but still. Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, there's that. And then that's kind of where things got kind of weird. And and that I kind of emphasized a little bit more. I was like, hey, like if anything, you know, I think, you know, because of my contribution, you know, it should be a discount code at, you know, that was kind of my main focus there, because affiliate, like, and this is going to be like, again, like the whole thing with content creators, brands. I know, you know, you've kind of talked about it a couple of weeks in a row already. Affiliate links are a ripoff, you know, like they suck,
Yes.
you know, like I know what's his face from last week, forgetting his Mario. You know, he's you know, big on the brand side, you know, so he's, you know, giving his perspective there. But, you know, affiliate links do nothing for a creator. You know, like it's free marketing. We're doing free marketing. And most of the time for me, I don't get anything for free, because I, like, whenever I get it offered for me, I don't want to accept their, like, a company's terms, like where I have to put out a YouTube video, where I have to, you know,
Sure.
say something a certain way. So I'm just like, I'll just buy it, you know, I'll buy it. And then at that point I'll sign up for their affiliate program. So if somebody happens to want to use my link, which, you know, nobody does, nobody uses affiliate links. Yeah, so it's, you know, so like that was the whole reason I wanted a code. I was like, hey, like, you know, here you are, you know, saying that I helped you rethink the way you guys think about design, and you want to just give me an affiliate link. It's like, no, like I can't do it for any less than a code. Again, that was the whole like line in the sand that I drew, was a specific discount code, just so that, you know, when I'm promoting this product that my name is associated to, like, you know, I want to be able to, you know, pull in some value there, and, you know, give my audience some sort of, you know, kickback as well, you know, in terms of a discount to them. So at that point, they completely ghosted me, and I reached out a couple more times, and, you know, didn't hear anything back. So at that point I was like, you know what, that's fine. You know, like this whole thing was just kind of sketchy to begin with, you know, like way back when they first found out about the idea, you know, they were going to reach out to me supposedly, and, you know, they had to force an introduction. They're using my name on their website without my consent. And that was another thing too. I never consented to that. But then they also had it up incorrectly, which is another, felt like was also really disrespectful. So it's like, okay, like, you know, it's just, you know, you're not even doing your due diligence, you know,
Okay.
there. So not even linking to my page, you know, like when they have my name on their website. So it was just, you know, so it's like free association, I guess, with me. Not like I'm a major content creator brand or anything, but still, you know.
No,
So,
I understand what you mean, where you're just like, okay, but you know who you know, like you should, I guess. Okay. Now, some of what I say, because I'm going to ask you questions, and it's just like I asked Isaac questions. I'm going to ask you questions too, because I think that it's helpful for other people who are watching this, who may be trying to do, like, they may be in a similar situation. They got an idea and they're like, what do I do now? You know, and how do I approach this? Right. Because Mario Sperry, great jiu-jitsu master, he said, you basically, it was a variation of you either win or you learn. You never lose. You either win or you learn. And that's how I approach life, right? So the first thing I say is, now that I know that Iron Bow's strength is not this, when you look at their branding, the videos and stuff, you get the impression that this is some big company, right? When it's really, the staff is not much bigger than the people you saw at Home Gym Con. Minus like the people working in the factory. But the guy who's a social media guy didn't come with them to Home Gym Con. He's the one who I would say would have been the guy that was in charge of getting your name right on the website and all that, right? And I'll put his name out there, Alex, right? So I've only had a couple of contacts with Alex, and I would say that Alex doesn't necessarily talk to Joe Gray. So Alex may not have any idea who you are. So if Frank says, hey, Alex, this guy, Mark, Flex marks your spot, get him on the website, put him on here. My background in the Marine Corps says you inspect what you expect, but I also know Frank says, hey, go do this. And if he just trusts Alex to do it, that doesn't mean that Alex did it correctly, right? So I'm not excusing Frank, Alex, or anybody else at Iron Bro Strength, but what I'm saying is I can see how there's a breakdown like that without it being malicious intent. Because big companies screw up stuff too.
Yeah, but that's the thing. This isn't a big company where things can get lost in bureaucracy. I was directly in contact with Frank, right? You know, and you know, culture starts from the top down. So true enough. So I mean, this was, you know, one of the things I've been saying about the whole thing. If they wanted to, they would have, right? Like, you got your rack, you know, everyone else who supposedly, you know, got them, you know, ahead of time, you know, like all of that got done, right? That was a priority. Collaborating with, you know, the, like, where they got the idea from, or at least, you know, even you know, even circling back to, you know, at least making an introduction, you know, like that was obviously not a priority either. Their priority was trying to get this to market as soon as possible, trying to patent it, and, you know, kind of start pushing units out the door. And which is kind of like the whole, like, kind of part of my other issue with this thing was, so after I had kind of walked away, and after they had kind of ghosted me, and I told them, hey, like, and again, like, you have the email, like, I was very respectful. Like, I was like, hey, like, you know, best of luck, you know, with this, you know, I don't think I can confidently promote this since it doesn't seem like you guys are interested, you know, best of luck on the launch. And, you know, like, whatever. I just kind of left it at that. Immediately after that, that's when I was like, you know what, like, I think this still has legs. So I started approaching other companies, which included, you know, Bells of Steel, which I don't know if anyone noticed at Home Gym Con, they started including this. They never reached back out. Again, I'm not saying that they weren't working on something similar.
They had a 4-way keyhole design as well.
Exactly, you know, but like, literally that same day after I sent that email to Frank, you know, telling them I wasn't, I don't want to partner with them anymore, even though they had ghosted me at that point. I reached out to Bells of Steel immediately afterwards, and a couple of other companies, you know, trying to gauge some interest. And, you know, I mentioned that to Joe, and I know that word got back to Frank because, you know, a few days later, or I'm not sure what the timeline was, suddenly, like, they're coming back, you know, quick to response, both Alex and Frank, you know, wanting to, you know, work something out. But at that point, you know, like, just like you, you know, I'm a man of my word, you know, like, when I say what I mean what I say. I stepped away, and, you know, that was that. And on top of that, you know, like, they had been, you know, I felt like incredibly disrespectful to me as not only a content creator, but as a person. So, like, I don't want to do business with a company that I think is shady, you know, if that's how they treat people that they collaborate with, you know, like, I'm sure, you know, it's a reflection of how they're treating their customers as well. And I mean, which I don't think I was too off base with that, because I've seen, like, they delete negative comments on a lot of their posts, and, like, a lot of them are fair critical ones. So that's kind of, you know, why, like, that's my main issue. And that's kind of like how it all came down. So again, I'm not saying I invented the keyhole design. So, I'm not saying anything like that. Like, and I know there was a lot of discourse about that, and, you know, that was the whole rant thing. If you had a product, you should manufacture it yourself. It's like, no, like, if you're a company and, you know, you say you're going to do something, it doesn't matter if you're a company or an individual, you know, like, I'm a man of integrity, you know, and I expect the people, you know, that I'm doing business with, or, you know, in association with, to kind of be the same way. Cause, you know, you are the sum of the people that you associate with, right? Birds of a feather flock together. So that's kind of the stance I take on things.
All right, so let's go. I'm gonna kind of, since I'm actually looking at the emails right now. So, and I pulled it up along with a calendar. So you posted, and, you know, I'm fairly certain that people can't even see this. Okay, that's why I didn't pull it up. I'm like, this is way too small. Nobody can read this, but I'm gonna do it anyway, because somebody out there can zoom in with their Google machine. All right, and so this is the redacted version, so it's got no addresses or anything like that on there. And I'm not going to go back through the whole email thing again, because to me it's irrelevant.
Right.
What is relevant is, the first thing is when you said they ghosted you. So you sent an email on April 24th, which is a Thursday, where you basically said, hey, well, let me back up. this is what I want to refer to. So April 14th, Frank reached out to you, said, Mark, thanks for following up. No worries at all on the delay, because there was a delay between when he reached out to you. So on Tuesday, April 1st, they said, hey, send over your shipping address and telephone number. All right. Well, 10 days later, you emailed him back. Hey, sorry about the delay. Appreciate your patience. Here's my information. And this is where you said, let's talk about ways that we can make this make sense. Licensing, attribution, some other arrangement.
Discount code was
right.
Also in there.
Right. So, right. But that's where you discuss that. Right. But what I'm saying is that they reached out to you April 1st and asked you for your address. And there was a delay. You responded on April 11th, which is 10 days later. But you said, hey, sorry about the delay, and let's move forward. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So then April 14th, which is 4 days later, Frank said, Mark, thanks for following up. Don't worry about the delay. We appreciate your enthusiasm. And that's when they said, well, it's a great idea. To our knowledge, it's still available to patent. If you're interested in pursuing that, the concept has been floating around for a few years.
Well, they tried to downplay the contribution at that point where things started getting a little weird.
Right. He said we've talked to other people, including Joe, who mentioned that you and others had discussed using this. When he said, we believe a licensing deal isn't warranted in this case because a patent prototype or without we believe licensing isn't warranted because you don't have a patent or a prototype or prior collaboration, right? But we want to acknowledge your contribution. So I can understand that. I wouldn't want to license something to somebody who doesn't have a patent either, because another company, let's say they weren't able to get the patent in time, another company patents it. Now they've got to figure out a way to get around that patent, whether they have to pay money or whatever, and then they still owe you money too. So I can understand.
Right. That's completely valid.
Yeah.
And
but
my response after that.
Right. But then April 14th. So then April 24th, which is another 10 days later, you said, okay, appreciate your patience while I take time to think this through. And you said, I'm excited to get hands on with the Frankenstein uprights. I appreciate the transparency and thoughtfulness in your reply. I get the need to develop a system that aligns with your goals while being legally sound. That said, I still feel that the initial idea I shared, specifically the four-sided design, played a meaningful role in shaping the direction, even if the execution was tweaked. I'm going to hang on to that. Okay. So everybody put a pin in that, right? And you said, I'm not looking to overstate my contribution or make things transactional, but I think there's room to do something that respects the origin while creating a genuine win-win. I've had a few conversations with other companies in the past about the same concept, which is why I believe there's something unique and valuable here, not just in the idea, but in how it can be executed. I'm open to discussing affiliate partnership, especially if we can structure around an exclusive or high visibility code tied to the Frankenstein rack. I'm happy to promote it, tell the story in a way that brings value to both sides. Okay, so that's the April 24th. Then 4 days later, you sent another email. Hey, Frank, I appreciate you having Alex get me set up on the affiliate side. I'm glad to see the Frankenstein uprights gaining momentum. It's great to see the product go live, especially with community credit included. This is when you mentioned that your brand is Flex Marks the Spot, not Mark from Flex the Spot, which is hilariously bad. Would you mind updating that to reflect the correct name? Also, before I start promoting, I want to clarify. I need a discount code tied to my name or brand, and you explain what and your reasons are valid. A direct code is easier to promote because people want a discount. So then on May 2nd, you said, well, I haven't heard anything back. So from April 24th to May 2nd, you hadn't heard anything back. So you said, look, I'll go ahead and just step back from involvement. I appreciate the credit, and affiliate set up without a direct code or clear sense of partnership is not something I can confidently promote. So what I'm going to say, and then Frank came back on
this was
May 3rd.
So he came back. He was told that I was reaching out to other companies, by the way. Just add that little tidbit in here.
Okay, so I get that. What I'm saying is, so your email was like May 2nd, May 3rd, which is a Saturday, he got back to you. Okay. So the first thing I say to that is there are multiple places in the email chain where there's gaps on both sides in communication. It'll take like 10 days for you to respond, 10 days for him to respond. So this isn't the first time that it's gone a significant period of time, over a week long, without you hearing anything. What was it about this long gap after your that makes it different from the previous times when you emailed him and you didn't hear back from him, or he mailed you and he didn't hear back from you right away? So what's the difference?
The difference here was that once I had mentioned, that any like asking, like what the collaboration or like the partnership would entail, where suddenly the tune shifted from, like this helped us rethink our design to suddenly downplaying it. And they're like, this has actually been floating around for a while, and like, you're free to do whatever you want, because that was like the whole thing. And after, again, initially the previous context, like before the email where they're already using my name on the website, before they had reached out to me, other people have already received their racks and I hadn't even heard from them yet. And all of this, just compounding, just layers of, what felt like, was just very disrespectful to me as a person and as a potential collaborator. So at that point, everything was just compounding. And at that point, it just didn't sit right with me. It's like, okay, like, and I had already, done a little bit more research. I had seen, that, Tim at Gym Crafter, had issues with them. I had gone and, watched some of your previous content, kind of criticizing them as well. And I just kind of I was like, you know what, this doesn't seem like a company that I want to do business with because of, just because like it seems like they're
just a lot.
Yeah,
it's
like,
just a lot.
They have a lot of baggage, and it doesn't seem like we're aligned, from an ethic and like moral standpoint in terms of like how to do business, right? So
sure,
that was kind of what led to that at that point there, and yeah.
All right, so hey, what's up, Manan? He says a lot of this could have been resolved if Iron Bull just re-engaged Flex. So I would say, and now again, this is me. What you just said makes a lot more sense now, because I was like, I don't understand why you're like, well, I haven't heard from you. I'm like, I personally would have been done way back when I first got sent an email and I didn't hear back. But I was like, but y'all both did that to each other. So I don't understand why this one is the deal breaker. But now you're telling me, yeah, okay, well, you're not only not responding to me, but other people are getting the thing ahead of me. I don't, and I don't feel like you want to do business with me. And now it makes sense to me. I was confused.
Yeah, and also adding into like when Frank finally did re-engage as well, that like I had been talking to Joe, like he was just like, yeah, sorry, man, like I should have, like brought you in from the beginning, or should have let you pitch it to them, whatever, all of that. And at that point, that's when I was like telling him, yeah, I'm gonna go pitch this, to all these other companies. I just sent off the email and all of that, and he came back to me like immediately afterward. Joe was like, yeah, I reached out to Frank and, the Iron Bull team and, like told them, how badly they're fumbling this, and, like that, and that was after I had already walked away. So Frank coming back to the table here had nothing to do with, a delayed timeline. And from my perspective, it was after Joe had, kind of been like, after Joe had already, kind of after he went back to them and kind of was telling them, hey, you guys are really, really doing bad here, and probably explained, what a bad look it is, to kind of, do like historically speaking with companies, with creators, right? And, things like that. And probably mentioned that, I'm pitching it to other companies, at which point, they're like, okay, well, we don't really want to lose out on this, especially if we have his name on the website and, suddenly he's collaborating with other companies on the same concept, so that was the reason I didn't re-engage again, because it again seemed disingenuous, which was on brand with my entire interaction with Iron Bull from the very beginning, and even before I even started interacting with him, to be honest.
Sure. All right, so my guy Matt, and so full disclosure, Matt works for RitFit. Okay, he's a good dude, and he's actually going to be on the show in a couple of weeks. So what's up, Matt? Baliano, I did not mispronounce your name again, okay? But Matt is here. He says, sounds like a rough experience. What's up, Rory? Rory says, morning, gents. Rory has obviously he's got a number of collaborations. Yeah. Through Roman Strength. And Matt says, a good company will take great care of you if you support them. And Matt says, I got it right. Love it. So I keep saying that because I I've done like 2 or 3 videos with him, and I say, yeah, Matt, and then I mispronounce his name, and I'm like, that's right. He nodded his head like, no.
Nope.
And then completely wrong. So I finally got it right. But all right, so let's go back to this. And I told you I got a couple of things. This is just me trying to understand it. And so I'm gonna come back to this one because I've got this question written down, but I don't have the one that's in my head right now written down. I don't want to forget it. So the people who say you should have come with a prototype, when they say, all right, look, we can't do a licensing deal without a prototype, right? Literally. In my head, I'm like, well, why didn't you just grab a cross member, some sort of upright, and just take a drill and drill some holes in it and say, okay, this is the idea that I've been trying to pitch to people. Boom, boom.
Well, yeah, that was they did.
So now I've got a physical product. You can't say that I'm just giving you a CAD drawing. I've literally I got a spare upright. I just bought one upright. It doesn't even have to be a legit. It could be like a straight up 3x3 14 gauge. In fact, I probably would have done.
That whole business case.
Drill through.
Yeah, that whole business case that they got. Like when Joe pitched them, like included like a video, like with me explaining the concept with a Rogue upright where I had 1-inch attachments, I had 5/8 inch, I had the
so you already had that
the spacers, like it was a Rogue upright, right? So I was using that as kind of like the demonstration. So I mean, not a prototype, like not exactly, but it was
no. I mean, because they're saying that instead of a key, and to their credit, I will say that their keyhole design doesn't look like the other keyhole designs because of how it comes in. But what they said they did, what Isaac said he did, even when he was on here, he's like, well, it's actually based on the concept of actually physically taking a 1-inch hole in a 5/8 hole,
right,
and drilling them, and then kind of like taking the middle part out a little bit so it tapers in. And I'm saying, I mean, that seemed kind of simple, like just literally.
Right. And that was,
all right, here you go.
Yeah, that was from my end, that was a verbal thing that was part of my concept too. When I had communicated that, not to Iron Bull directly, but that was already out there. So again, I had never I did not include that in the video, but I did have that included when I was pitching it to Rep directly. So I mean, again, like multiple people invented calculus at the same time, right? So it's not like when you have this concept with the keyholes, it's not like rocket science, having coming to that same conclusion.
I get it. It's like a bow and arrow.
Yeah. We both kind of came to the same natural conclusion there.
So that makes me think of like some of martial artists. It's like when the kung fu people would say they invented some technique, and we used to always come back with, well, look, most human beings have 2 arms and 2 legs. So there's only so many ways to throw a punch. And if I put you on a deserted island for 6 months and told you, hey, pirates are going to be here in 6 months, you need to learn how to defend yourself, you're going to figure out something that'll probably look like an established martial art, even if you've never studied it, right? Just because of how human beings work kinesthetically. So right. I do understand that. I'm just saying, like, it seems like from the standpoint of, again, being a teaching tool for other people, like, I'm like, okay, could you just do this? But you said you already had an upright and you were showing them, this is what I'm telling you. And I think another thing that's a game changer was the fact that it's not just on the front and back, like one face. Instead, you're like, no, it needs to go both. It needs to go 4 ways. Because that was the thing that raised my eyebrows. I was like, oh, this isn't on just one face. Now I'm going to go to the question that I had written down. What do you say to people, me being one of them, who say it doesn't matter why they came back to the negotiating table on May 3rd? Negotiations in business are often tumultuous. People cuss each other out. I mean, that's not in your personality, but you know what I mean? Like, it gets violent, verbally violent. Sometimes get physically violent. They walk away, but you would have been better served by going back and saying, no, I want what you promised me. And I think that's the fundamental thing, because I think every time this thing gets discussed, and I see your comment, Isaac. I see your comment, Isaac. Okay, I'll put it up in a second, bro. But I'm gonna say, it doesn't matter if you think anybody watching this thinks that Mark deserves something or not. If the email from the president of the founder of the company says, we want to honor your contribution in some way, then that means Iron Bull Strength is responsible to honor Mark's contribution in some way, because you've got a verbal promise. I'm not verbal. You've got a written promise from the owner of the company that you're going to honor the contribution in some way. From there, it's a matter of figuring out, which is where I go back to you, like, hey, if you don't come back to the table, regardless of why they came back, if you don't come back to the table, you never hammer out what that in some way is. Now, if you say, well, I just don't want to work with them, period, the heck with them, I'm going to go work with somebody else because I don't like how they are, I understand that. But I'm saying just in general, we're having a disagreement. Heck, when you got in a fight as a kid and your parents made you shake hands with the person, right? They're not shaking your hand because they decide, they say, you know what, I realized I was wrong for how I treated you. Nah, they're shaking your hands because their dad and your dad or the principal or somebody forced them to do it, right?
Exactly.
So it's like, okay, it doesn't matter why. The point is that the resolution happened, and because the resolution happens, you don't know what else could come out of it positively because you allowed the resolution to happen, even if one party had to be dragged back kicking and screaming. Right. So what's your response to that?
So it's I have a twofold answer to that. So the first part is, at that point, I had already started engaging with other companies. So, at that point, I'm not gonna, go back to them and be like, oh, hey, never mind. That's like I said, I'm a man of my word. I say what I mean what I say. So, I had that out there. And then on the other end, you kind of have to ask, as a partner, like, I want to do business with someone I can trust, right? For me, integrity and good faith come first. If a company only comes back to the table because of pressure, that's not a sustainable relationship. I'd rather walk away and work with brands who value partnership than come to the table when they're kind of forced to something, because that just has red flags all over it, especially with all of the context, from way before, where they were just kind of sketchy to begin with, from way before, like before they had even approached me.
Okay. So next thing I'm going to use is another example of another event. Shout out to PRX. I got no beef with PRX at all. But I will say that when PRX had the situation with the Kaizen, they were forced to come to the table because of community pressure in the aftermath of what is possibly the absolute worst explainer video ever put out on social media. And so they had the summit where they had, I believe it was Britt from Vendetta, Kyle from Kaizen DIY. Jimpin was not there, but Kyle was there as their representative, because to be honest with you, Jimpin's in a different country. So no matter what PR's performance said, their patent wouldn't affect Jimpin in the UK. But Kyle was there. Britt from Vendetta was there. PRX was there. I'm right. As far as do you remember if that was pretty much who was there, right?
Right.
Okay. So I will say that when I saw that, I immediately messaged Sean Crandall from Crandall Fitness, because his lever arms were actually the first one. His free motion swing arms were actually the first ones, not Kyle's, not Vendetta's. And so I said, well, if they're having some summit over there about this patent that could potentially, that they're talking about getting, they can't get a patent because you have the first right with your patent. And he's like, yeah. That is an example of people getting forced into a business relationship that has now turned into something positive. And in fact, Sean said he reached out. He's like, he went ahead, he patented it. And he said, look, I don't even care about fighting anybody. He said, if they want to just license it, I'm happy with it. Right. And I was like, that's actually, he's like, yeah, I could pitch a fit or whatever. He's like, but because they left me out of the summit. But as the injured party, I decided, he's like, I just want to not even do that. I just, hey, let's just license it and move on. I was like, okay. So that to me is an example of how it could work. But I think I get the impression that the way that they saw PRX approaching the situation was that PRX was coming from a position of, hey, I want to genuinely take care of this, and you don't feel like Iron Bull Strength said, hey, yo, because of this pressure, we want to take care of it because we want to genuinely have a good relationship with you going forward. You feel like they're like, okay, you're making us, but you don't feel like you can trust them anymore. Is that right?
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So you saw him at Home Gym Con. Obviously, if you don't trust them, that's why you didn't say anything to them. And you already told me you're introverted. And heck, you got no beef with beef with me. And
I did go to the booth at Home Gym Con. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what happened then? So that was an opportunity. So that email was not the last contact between y'all. You going to their booth at Home Gym Con would have been the last contact. So what happened then?
Yeah, so I went to their booth, with the intention to kind of talk to Frank, right? And just kind of, and this was after I had talked to you. I had talked to, a few other people there, they're like, hey, Iron Bull's here, like, have you talked to them? I'm like, not quite yet, but like my intention was to, get face to face with Frank. And when I went to the booth, he wasn't there. So, yeah, so it was fine. I was there with my cousin. My cousin was my cameraman. So I was like, hey, let's just.
Oh, you got a team too. Okay.
Yeah. He was just helping out for the weekend.
I got you.
I was like, hey, like, this would be a funny video if I'm like, hey, this is my first time, seeing these uprights, despite my name being on the website, just doing like a cheeky video or something like that.
Sure.
And so I started kind of doing that. And then I got approached by Stefan. He was
okay.
He was the one manning their booth there.
Okay.
And he started kind of telling me about the uprights. I'm like, oh yeah, man, I know all about these uprights, like my name's actually on the website, and kind of explain the situation, and from there, he had no idea, and he was like, yeah, I'll reach out to Frank, I'll make sure he's aware of this. I was like, well, yeah, I came to talk to Frank about it, but yeah, so I mean, I was like, but I was already in contact with Frank, and
was this awkward?
It was absolutely. And the funny thing is, I actually, like, my cousin was still recording most of this, like, and even after he took the camera down, my mic was still connected. So the fact that, which was another thing I have issues with was Isaac, when he came on last week, he said I was demanding royalties when I was at the booth, right? Or demanding licensing, which I don't remember exactly how he said it, but he said something along those lines. I have a hot mic of the recording where I was specifically talking about the discount code. I said nothing about licensing, nothing about like royalties. So I'm hoping he misremembered, because if he didn't misremember, that was just a blatant lie.
Do you think that's a language barrier?
No, we actually spoke Spanish there a little bit too to each other, which that's also.
You and Isaac?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. He asked if I spoke Spanish. I was like, más o menos, entiendo más que hablo, and so something along those lines. We were. And that's all on the recording as well, which, I mean, if they really want to say,
look at you trying to get bilingual on my show. Let me tell you something, okay?
If they want to he said, she said, I have the hot mic and the recording to prove otherwise.
Okay, I see you over here trying to be bilingual on my show, okay? Let me tell you something, all right? Yo aprendí español en secundario, okay? Pero necesito mucho práctica, pero mi esposa es boricua, so yo entiendo español. All right, anyway. So there we go. That concludes the bilingual portion of the show. Yeah, I just want to I speak a couple dang words of Spanish too. But no, I mean, I get that. The reason I said that is because I understand that it's not just in the case of Isaac, I think he speaks like 5 languages. And I understand how it is. Like, even what I just did there, I speak English, but I'm translating it into Spanish in my head. I'm not thinking in Spanish like if I was like fluent, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like I'm making the effort, and I probably use the wrong word here or there. But look, at the end of the day, I know Jake says I'm Judge Greaves III. But yeah, exactly, Kinsey, just get the drill out. I'm like, it's kind of like, like what's this thing is as my buddy Greg Santaciro, head of G Code Nutrition, says, you need to become undeniable, right? You take away the reasons that they have to tell you no. All right. Hey, look at Jameson. Now everybody is here like putting in Spanish to Jameson. Habla español también un poco, hermanos. Hey, that's right. What's up, man? My wife is Ecuadorian, fluent in Spanish, and I gotta have her watch this on replay. There you go. Hey, make sure she watches from her own phone and subscribes. But I mean, I think it kind of goes down to the fundamental thing is like, I'm like, don't let them give you, don't let them be able to give you reasons to say no to you, right? And I think you did a good job of that because you had like the physical part, because that's the first thing everybody was saying. And now I go back to, you went to the booth and you said that, you know, you were looking for Frank. You've got you didn't in your defense, you didn't release the recording from the booth like, hey, I got him or whatever. So even though you don't want to work with them anymore, you also have not tried to flame them.
Not at all.
At all. I think that what's made Isaac upset, and when I say I think this, I say it's because he reached out to me to say, hey, I'm coming on the show because this was said, isn't what you've said about them or to them. And technically, it's not what they've said about or to you. It's all what other people have said about it on social media about the situation. Some people defending you when you've also said, hey, look, I don't need other people defending me. Let's just move on. So that's what we're going to do. Move on.
Yeah.
You mentioned you have several ideas in the works, and I want to wrap this up because it's after 9 o'clock. So I know we're running.
Yeah, and for the record too, like if I really wanted to go scorched earth, I had, you know, one of the biggest names, you know, in the industry who offered to put pressure on them on my behalf after Home Gym Con, and I told them the same thing I told you. I was like, you know what, like I'm walking away. I don't want anything to do with it. You know, just like, you know, let it be. And if that individual entity, you know, had done anything there, you know, this would have been a much bigger deal. So, I mean, just throwing that out there.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to respond to this right there. So, Mike, you said, what have other people said? Well, in addition to the clip that we played of you, Mike, where you said that Iron Bull Strength was not giving Mark credit because he's one of the original ideators.
He said they promised things that they didn't follow
that
through
didn't
on.
deliver. Right.
Yeah.
He said, and you called him one of the original ideators. So that's one thing. We got the video of you saying that, which is fine. As I mentioned, I defend my friends all the time too.
Nothing factually incorrect about that.
I just said, hey, all right. But then also people, even in this comment section, have said the last time when Isaac was on, I remember people coming on and saying, no surprise, big companies don't want to compensate a creator for their work. And then Anan, he's another person whose name I don't ever know if I'm getting it right or not. But Anan said all this would have been resolved if Iron Bull just re-engaged with Flex. Okay, that's something else, right? So there are multiple other comments that have been said. And what I say is, from what it looks like, you know, like sometimes you have like two friends who just don't get along. You just okay, yeah. You just let them not get along. So from my personal perspective, I brought you on here because I let Isaac come on, and it's wrong for me to let you come on. I mean, let him come on and say his side and not give you the same opportunity.
100%.
That's one. Number two, I believe on not talking about the situation. If I'm not involved, I believe in letting the people involved say their piece. And if my platform happens to be the vehicle for it, fine. But then I back off. So I'm not going to be like doing reaction videos explaining what I think you meant, what I think Isaac meant. No, because that's not you. If anybody wants to see my degree, I'd be happy to show it to you. It's right up there. If anybody wants to see my bona fides, I'm happy to show you the articles I wrote for the newspaper. I have been trained in journalism. And journalism is basically you tell the truth, you tell the story, and you back off. You don't analyze it. There's a place for analysis. I don't think that this situation is that place. So what I'm going to do is move on to, you mentioned that you have several ideas in the works.
I do.
And other brands that you're going to be working with. So unless you really want to name names, you don't have to. What I want to know is something that occurred to me every time I hear you talk about this. Is you don't like doing like product review videos, but I think you will be phenomenal as a product development consultant, even on a contractual. I mean, phenomenal because you see things, right? Or even at the base level as a beta tester.
Yeah,
for brands.
which is a lot of what the way I'm staying engaged in the industry as a whole right now. Like the reason I'm not doing a lot of reviews is because I just don't want to be tied to affiliate links. I don't want to feel like I'm shilling products that have like in order to support the channel, right? Which I get why people have them, but like we discussed before, affiliate links are they're a ripoff for the creators, free marketing for the companies, whatever. But with that, in case
anybody wonders, you're like, so you get 5% commission, 5%
maybe
on 500. So let's say a bench is $500, 5% commission is $25, and you may get that, and that's before taxes.
Exactly, and that's maybe if you have someone who really likes you and they make a conscious effort to go click your link.
Yeah, instead of on purpose avoiding your link. Just because some people don't want to click the link. So anyway,
But no, yeah. I've actually, worked with quite a few companies, in order to test products, give them feedback. I've gotten prototype versions, a lot of things I don't post because not allowed to, like
you got NDAs.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's your pathway.
No, yeah. A lot of times, not even NDAs, it's just, I value the relationship again, like my whole thing, this entire interview has just been, having mutual trust and, your word is your word. So I actually did have a job offered to me by Rep as a product manager too, like for this very reason,
Sweet.
Yeah, but unfortunately I had to turn it down. The stars just didn't really align there. I wanted to keep my autonomy with Flex Marks a Spot and, just some other things. But yeah, I mean, that there have been opportunities there. But that being said, I am, I do have relationships with other companies, and there's, one in particular, which I maybe I shouldn't have said that last part there, but anyway,
you can stop now if you want to. It's not too late to not say it.
A potential big collaboration from a major player in the industry, a 3-letter company. So that's all I can say.
Let's just
stop
there.
Yeah.
All right.
Put that out there.
So I mean. And the reason why I say I think that this is your path and could be the path for a lot of people. Jared, if you're still watching, I think that this is something that you might want to look into as well. Because one of the biggest complaints I've had about equipment over the last 2+ decades that I've had a home gym is, the over 2 decades that I've been lifting. I started lifting in 1993. It has to do with equipment that's designed by people who don't actually train in the ways that the people who are going to be using the equipment will use it, right? So you have an engineer who may, I don't know, they do a lot of mountain biking, but now they're building something for people who are going to be training for Olympic lifting, and they don't have like the frame of reference, because I'm not saying that they're never going to do an Olympic lift, but bars misbehave at a certain weight. So they may never, ever be strong enough to make the bar misbehave. And so, it's perfect. Well, it actually isn't. And then we don't find out till the bar goes out to somebody like Joe or me, who's strong enough to get the load on the bar to the point where you're like, oh, whoa, that's not good, right? Well, now it's out there in the wild. And I think it's better to do it on the front end. That's the beta testing, right? I know Major Fitness has Matthew Moore. Shout out to Matthew. We did the interview with him when we talked to Major Fitness at Home Gym Con. He lives in China. Actually, they maintain a residence for him in China, so that he's available in proximity, close proximity to their factory, to give feedback. He's a strongman competitor. He competed at Home Gym Con. Ritfit has Matt, who's in the chat. He's Matt Baliano. He's actually, shout out to Matt for his new position. He's their new the director of product innovation and strategy. And then Joaquin Armando, also with Ritfit, he's their product experience officer. And they basically serve a similar function. Right. Testing equipment, giving feedback. I remember when Victoria Dorsano came on here, she said she did a similar thing with Freak Athlete on the Hyper Pro. Besides those examples, I think there's just a lot of opportunity for people who have an eye for detail, ability to communicate ideas clearly in writing or in video format, who can then keep it to themselves and don't feel a need to broadcast it on social media. And I think they would feel a need in the industry for people other than the engineers who build the equipment who might be too close to the problem. So if somebody wants, since you're already doing this, how would you suggest to somebody else who might want to try getting to see if this is a good fit for them? How would you suggest that they try to get started with this. And Matt, since you're watching, if you have any feedback about how somebody could do the same thing with maybe RitFit or whatever, please feel free to put that in the comment.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I can only comment on my journey and kind of what led me here, but like, just the way that I do content, you know, again, it's not necessarily where I'm, you know, churning out videos, you know, video reviews and things like that. I get, whenever I do post anything, even if it's just on my stories and it's a big text wall, I get really in the weeds, and I put that information out there, and I try to be as thorough as possible. So with that, you know, I've built a little bit of an audience, you know, with that, you know, obviously we have the people that are there for the Bumblebee, you know, shoulder press machine, but I do have a core group of people that, you know, do reach out to me pretty regularly, you know, asking for insights on not just equipment that I've used or just anything, because they, you know, they trust my opinion, they trust my perspective on things. And that includes, you know, manufacturers as well, because of the body of work that I've put out there, the trust that I've instilled in that audience, you know, over the course of time, you know, just trying to be as honest and transparent as possible. So I would just say, you know, try to put out a body of work, you know, stay true to you know, what it is you like to do. And, you know, don't get caught up in clicks, views, or anything like that. Just focus on the information, the content. I would say that's first and foremost kind of the main thing. But then the second half, it's just luck and networking, you know? So obviously I'm gonna, the one thing I will continue to shill is Home Gym Con. I've made so many.
That's not shilling. That's a public service.
Exactly. I've made a lot of good connections there, and, you know, a lot of those have led to some of these opportunities as well. So, but because I had that body of work, you know, that I was able to reference. So when I'm talking to people at Home Gym Con, you know, people that are connected, you know, they go back, if they haven't heard of my pages yet or whatever, they'll start following me. They'll see this kind of see the way I approach things. And, you know, that leads to these type of, you know, opportunities. And again, it's not the real, because I've had reels, you know, that have had upwards of 70 some million views right now. Right. I'm around 2 million views over the last 30 days on my Instagram account. But, you know, like that's not where the most meaningful relationships come. They come from the story posts that I have that are just text walls that most people just click to, but the people who care, the people who are in positions to, you know, make these collaborations happen, you know, within these organizations, they're the ones that are reading those, and they're the ones that, you know, are engaging with that kind of content. So that would be my advice to anyone there, is to, you know, just kind of stay true to the craft itself, you know, do it for the love of the game.
There you go. I love that. Like I said, Matt's going to be on in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to revisit this exact topic with him. Like, hey, how do you suggest if somebody wants to be involved with improve, even if you just have an idea to improve one product? That's could be think about it. Yeah. Don't think about that. Think about how many people that product could be affecting, and none of them know how to improve it. You've got the reason why you have the ideas, because it's your responsibility to fix the problem. Mm-hmm. And the reason why it bothers you is because you're intended to fix the problem. And if you don't have any desire to have a big social media presence, you don't care about having clout, then I think that makes you more valuable to brands.
100%.
Because now they know that they're not going to see their stuff all over social media after they trusted you with it, right? Last two from me. You seem to enjoy podcasting a lot more than doing video reviews, based upon what you've become involved with. And I think it may be about the conversations. I honestly prefer helping people share their stories a lot more than I enjoy going over the nuts and bolts of pieces of equipment. Do you have any, now that you guys have stopped doing the podcast together? I know it was amicable. But,
yeah.
But do you have any plans to do any podcasts? You got anything in the works on that?
Right. No, yeah. So I mean, first off, anyone who is listening, go check out the
Rep Rant Repeat.
Yeah, with my former co-host, Rep Rant Repeat, Jason.
Yeah.
It's basically the same podcast, just without me in there. ranting on my end of things, so go check that out if you haven't
I
already.
was actually watching it this morning
on Garage Gym Radio.
Yeah.
But yeah, that being said, I don't necessarily have any podcast aspirations. I do enjoy them. I enjoy doing them, and again, with me, it's just more, it feels more real. It's less polished, which is a little bit more my style, as opposed to, like these fully high production YouTube videos, which again, I love other people's content. I just don't like creating that for myself. So, but that said,
Sure.
I don't have any podcast projects in the works for me specifically. I do have, some more video long form type content that I do kind of have some ideas for, but that's a little bit further on.
Okay. So last one is, what's next for you? What is next for you?
Yeah.
And how can people reach out to you if they are a brand that may want to work with you? They say, hey, I like the way you sound. I want to see more of your ideas. How can they reach out to you? And then how can people who just want to check out your next project, how can they keep up with what you have going on? So this is, give whatever you got, social media, whatever you want to share here.
Yeah. So what's next for me is I kind of want to make Flex Marks the Spot more of a more of a community hub. I want to try to prop up creators, content, not just content creators or just people who are putting out good reviews or good cool home gym things. So with my website, one thing that I kind of started a little bit with this, but haven't quite gone full into it, is most things that I do, unfortunately. But I want to have a strong community approach. So having community reviews and having people I want to help use my platform to put out good information, and I don't really want to kind of be a gatekeeper with any of that. So anyone who's interested, feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to feature you on the website in the form of articles, or YouTube videos, Instagram, anything like that. So that's kind of the main thing. I want to take more of a community aggregate an aggregate community content approach first and foremost. And then in terms of people who want to get a hold of me, go to my website. There's a contact form there, so you can do that, or just Instagram DMs, or my email, flexmarksthespot12@gmail.com. I'm pretty chronically online, even if I'm not always commenting on everything, and I'm pretty aware and down in the weeds of everything. So if anyone wants to reach out to me at any point, just any messaging format, I'll probably see it at some point within a day or two, and we can be in touch that way.
I would also add that you probably get his attention by, I don't know, posting a picture of yourself working out with a GoBot on Red Note. He'll probably see that, and we'll definitely check that out. I like what you said. I'm chronically on the internet. That's hilarious. All right. Well, dude, I appreciate you being here. And because we were talking about him, I'm going to go ahead and remind everybody, although I get nothing out of this except the sheer satisfaction of it being funny. MWPIG5 saves 5% at Prime Fitness USA. All right. If you didn't know that, now you know. All right. Dude, this was so much fun, and I appreciate you getting up super early, man. I know it was murderous. The next time, I promise not to keep you longer than I promised. Because what I say, yeah, man, I'm gonna have you for 30 minutes.
A lot of this is me.
Turned out that was a lie. It's we're like an hour and 25 in now. But I'm so sorry, man. But I appreciate you coming on here and answering questions. And
appreciate you as well, John.
And here's what I'm gonna do: not talk about that other topic anymore, because we're done. Anand, thank you. He said, respect to you, John, for staying impartial as possible. It was a good discussion. And Gibran says, agree on Mark with his ideas and contributions. Very cool to watch you over the last 6-ish years. And there we go. So I think that's a good spot to end on. And I appreciate you, my man.
Yep, appreciate you as well. See you.
All right, man. Later. That was my guy, Mark Tovar from Flex Marks the Spot. Look, that's it for today's show. Thank you to my guests, Anthony from the Bar Gym Reviews and YouTube channel, and Mark from Flex Marks the Spot, YouTube, Instagram, and website. for stopping by and making this one a success. Shout out to all of you, including Dr. Taddy Waffles, who said Mark is the best. I agree 1000%. Thank you all of you who watched and commented. Next week, we've got Dave and Mike from GetRx and Andrew Ponsler from Bells of Steel going to be joining the show. Plus, even more to look forward to. So I want to see all of you guys back here. Until then, get your homework assignment. Keep posting in the community section on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow our LinkedIn page if you're watching on LinkedIn. It's up way too early with Garage from Life. Monday, I've got another video releasing on LinkedIn. It's going to be an interview with a small business owner, two veterans of the United States Marine Corps who are now opening a fitness business in their home gym. So that's going to be releasing on Monday. For those of you on YouTube, if you check out my vlog, got a new vlog releasing on Monday. We also, in the members only section, we have a new raw, uncut unboxing video of the Expedience Velonix. I have no idea how to say that. Velonix. The bike, man. The Expedience bike. We've got that. We unboxed that and put it together last night. Got that video up, and we've got a review releasing of, I believe it's the Open Rock headphones that Naomi did, and that's going to be releasing on Tuesday. So got a lot of stuff coming out, a lot of content. We are not slowing down. We're speeding up because we are relentless over here. I want you to be relentless too. So next week, you guys keep on stacking days.